by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more.
Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Brave Americans who served shouldn't be denied benefits or have a disability claim incorrectly evaluated by the VA. If you're one of those vets, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 3 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, threats of a surprise drone attack on the West Coast.
I'm Julia Fellow. Why a Milwaukee mother is blaming a teacher for the disappearance of her son.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Eastbound 94, we've got the right lane closed just about at Calhoun, just before Calhoun, with an incident there, and that's got big backups stretching back to Barker Road. More delays then from about 76th Street to Hawley Road, and then coming out of the Stadium interchange to 35th. An accident on the ramp from Jackson Street to westbound 794 is going to be gumming up the works there. Then we've got more delays from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, gradual clearing, a low of 27. Tomorrow, increasing clouds, a high of 44. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the FBI warning that Iran intended to attack California with drones.
In a warning to law enforcement reviewed by ABC News, the FBI warns it recently acquired information that Iran allegedly aspired to conduct a surprise attack using unmanned aerial vehicles or drones from an unidentified vessel off the coast of the U.S. to strike unspecified targets in California. The warning came just as the Trump administration launched its assault against Iran. The FBI has declined to comment. The warning tells law enforcement that there is no additional information on timing, method, or targets. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
What is the FBI currently most worried about when it comes to foreign terrorists? A former head of the FBI Special Agent Office in New York joins us at 4:15.
Jeffrey Epstein's former accountant just answered questions about who was in Epstein's inner circle. ABC's Jay O'Brien.
According to committee Democrats who were inside that room, Khan said that Jeffrey Epstein was at minimum corresponding, if not handling the finances of an additional world leader. They did not say who it was, but they said that that information would come out when the eventual transcript of this deposition was released.
The committee chair said the former accountant, Richard Kahn of Jeffrey Epstein, told the committee he did not see any financial transactions involving the president.
A teenager is missing, and his former Milwaukee public school teacher might be involved. 15-year-old Avion Binion ran away from home on February 28th. His mother tells our sister station, 1017 The Truth, that the teacher had been texting him.
She was sending him money. She had sent him money for a ride. Can you send me a couple dollars so I can go get me some food? And then I seen her said, like, can you come pick me up or come take me to the gym? She asked him, like, you want to hang out?
MPS says while they can't comment on personnel matters, they're conducting an internal investigation.
A man was shot and killed in Racine. Police responded about 1 o'clock yesterday morning to reports of shots fired near Republic Avenue and 17th Streets. That's on Racine's southwest side. They found an 18-year-old who was shot in the abdomen. He died from his injuries. Police say there was an isolated incident. No one is in custody.
The man accused of killing his mother with a baseball bat pleads not guilty.
38-year-old Hayward Jenkins faces one felony count of first-degree intentional homicide in the death of his mother, 66-year-old Cheryl Jenkins. Court documents show Jenkins got into an argument with his mother in their home near 44th and Mitchell, and then he allegedly hit her multiple times in the head with the baseball bat before fleeing the house. Jenkins was later arrested at Potawatomi Casino. He faces life in prison if convicted on all charges. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
The Bucks are bringing a new way for fans to follow the game. Fiserv Forum now offers one-court devices for blind and low-vision fans. The tablet-sized devices convert live game action into vibrations and audio on a pallet. They can follow and play with their fingertips and hear scores in real time. The Bucks are one of only 5 NBA teams to offer this.
Coming up, the Packers are set to sign a veteran wide receiver.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:05.
This is former Wisconsin Attorney General J.B. Van Hollen with a message for my fellow conservatives about online sports betting. Online sports betting is fun. It protects kids against illegal gambling websites, and it generates billions in tax revenue. But today, Madison politicians are considering a secret deal that could give exclusive control of sports betting to one Indian tribe. One Indian tribe making the majority of all the revenue? Our Constitution requires a vote of the people on expanded sports betting, but Madison insiders want secrecy. What's worse, their plan could leave Governor Evers the sole power to negotiate with the tribes. Madison politicians want to bypass our state constitution, and it could mean less accountability with control concentrated with one Indian tribe. Tell Madison, no secret deal on online sports betting. Paid for by Sports Betting Alliance.
Ever wonder what it takes to feel truly wealthy and financially comfortable? Schwab asked Americans that question, and most said at least $2 million. But here's the thing, your number might be different. And that makes sense because your dreams, travel, retirement, and the legacy you want to leave are unique to you. That's why you need advice that's just as personal. The team at Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen and help you build a plan that fits your life. Click the Get Started button at annexwealth.com.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The NFL league year and free agent signing period are officially underway. The Packers signed veteran wide receiver and kick returner Sky Moore. Brewers starting pitcher Quinn Priester will see a specialist in Dallas tomorrow about why his lingering right wrist is sore. It's possible Priester will begin the regular season on the injured list. In college hoops, Marquette faces Xavier to start Big East Conference play tonight. Greg Gard's Wisconsin Badgers take on Washington or USC in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten tournament tomorrow afternoon.
This team's getting better, and I don't think we've peaked yet. I think we can get better and better, and that's the challenge that I always lay down to them. Like, we're never satisfied.
Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited Siding and a whole lot more.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:07.
We've all heard of Larry Bird. Allow us to introduce Derry Bird.
It's A.J. Green splashing a three down from the right wing on the other end of the court. It's a one-point game. Back to A.J. A.J. going to try to answer. Off-balance three, and he hits it. How did he hit that one? The Derry Bird going deep into his bag of tricks there.
We're the home of Derry Bird and the Bucks. WTMJ.
Tax season is here. Smart planning starts now. Let's set you up for success with today's tax tip from our trusted friends at the Neal Group.
Hi, this is Brittany from the Neal Group with today's tax tip. If you bought a new vehicle in 2025, you may be able to write off the interest on the loan up to $10,000. The vehicle must be used primarily for personal use and not business use. It must have been assembled in the United States, and you must provide the make, model, and VIN number, as well as the loan origination date. The deduction is subject to a phase-out based on total income. This deduction is available even if you take the standard deduction. For more tips, or if you have questions, visit nealgroup.net or call 414-325-2040. That's nealgroup.net.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
All right. Happy Wednesday.
Yes.
We made it to Wednesday. More Brewers baseball comes your way on Friday, a couple of games next week. We're getting close to the season. Are you ready for baseball?
Are you kidding me? Oh, Quinn Priester, I'm really worried about him.
I know.
Okay,
I know.
So he has some numbness at times when he throws in parts of his hand.
And his wrist is bothering him. So hopefully they get some answers tomorrow. He's going to see a specialist. All right, let's get some answers on what we're covering this afternoon.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
All right, let's keep it with sports. To begin the 3 at 3, Grambling State University has secured a federal trademark for its version of the Green Bay Packers' famous G logo. Take a look at this. You can see it by texting the word WATCH to 855-616-1620. You see the Packers logo, the famous iconic white G inside the green circle with gold trim. Next to it is the Grambling State logo. It's the same G, but it's in black and gold. And the Packers have worked out a deal where they will let Grambling State get this trademarked. Georgia also has a very similar logo. They've been able to use this. Grambling State has. The Packers have let them use it. The trademark's a big deal because now they can officially put it on all sorts of gear. Grambling can. They can use it for marketing. They've worked out a deal with the Packers about how it will be used, all that sort of stuff. Quick little story here. The logo was created by Green Bay Packers coach Vince Lombardi in 1961. He went to John Gordon, who was an art student at Little De Pere University, where the Packers trained. And Gordon was known for painting portraits of players and their families. Lombardi said, "Can you come up with something? I've got a couple of ideas. I want a logo on the players' helmets. I want something with a G in a football shape." Gordon came up with it, and he was afraid to show it to Lombardi, and Lombardi loved it.
Oh, my gosh. I love that story, John.
Isn't that a great story?
It is. Number 2, President Donald Trump has a new obsession, and it has a Wisconsin connection. The Wall Street Journal reports the president has been buying $145 Florsheim dress shoes for cabinet members, asking their shoe size during meetings, sending boxes with their names on it. One official said, quote, "Everybody's afraid not to wear the Florsheim shoes." It's a more than 100-year-old company, John. It started making shoes in Beaver Dam. They are now owned by Waco Group, headquartered in Glendale. And the shoes have been made overseas for decades now, no longer in Beaver Dam, including China. Waco has sued the Trump administration December 1st of last year, asking the court to return about $16 million they paid last year in tariffs and any interest owed on that money. So if you're wondering what the workers here do in Glendale, by the way, there's well over 100 workers in design, sales, marketing, finance. Yeah, all in Glendale. So even Trump promotes the brand, the company's still fighting his trade policies.
That's interesting. The third one is John Taffer. Do you know who he is? He's the host of Bar Rescue. It's on Paramount Network now, Bar Rescue. Well, John Taffer was asked what his top 5 bar cities in the United States are. He said New York's a no-brainer. Then he gave it some thought during this podcast, and he said, "That's a good question. I put St. Louis number 2. I'd say Atlanta's number 3. Chicago's the number 4 best bar city in America." Then he thought some more, and he said, "I would have to say for 5, this one might surprise you, Milwaukee." He said Milwaukee has the greatest bar association in the world. That's the Tavern League of Wisconsin, saying they're active, they're incredible. And then he says Milwaukee has a very hip bar culture. The entire state does. It's multi-generational. He went on to note Milwaukee's brewing history. Yeah, listing Miller and Pabst as examples. Bar Rescue, by the way, in its 10th season, has come to Milwaukee a handful of times. Most recently, last year, it visited Dak Shack, which is now rebranded to Royal Street, and it visited Tropic on Water. So how about that? Milwaukee, named by this bar expert, the 5th best city for bars in America. It is 3:13 at WTMJ. You've probably noticed at the pump that gas prices are outrageous, up 50 cents or more in many areas, rising in Wisconsin. What's happening in Iran is the big effect here. More oil's been released today. What does that mean for you at the pump? We've got answers up next.
Shop at Menards. Give your walls the most advanced protection with Pittsburgh's Paramount Interior Paint and Primer in one. It's scuff, scrub, and wear resistant, while also blocking stains and delivering true one-coat coverage. Choose from thousands of color options and refresh your space for spring. View our entire selection of paint and accessories today on Menards.com. Plus, check out the weekly flyer to find great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey everybody, Debbie Lazaga here for Milwaukee Weight Loss. Are you still paying month after month for GLP-1 weight loss shots? Dealing with nausea, fatigue, side effects just to keep the scale from creeping back? And if you stop the medication, you risk the weight coming back. Well, at Milwaukee Weight Loss, they take a different approach. A doctor-supervised weight loss program without lifetime drugs, without monthly injections, and without being chained to a prescription to maintain the results. No refills, no dependency, and no endless costs. That's kind of what I'm doing. I've jumped on board on the program, and I have already seen results. I'm down 20 pounds, and I am still going strong. The program is a doctor-developed, doctor-supervised program. They can help you lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two, safely and naturally, and you keep it off. With the Milwaukee Weight Loss Program, they've helped thousands of people right here in our area. So if you are ready to lose up to 20 to 30 pounds in about a month without lifelong medications, schedule your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Potential is like God's love. It lives within everyone and shows us that we are made for more. At Aug Prep, faith ignites excellence in academics, the arts, athletics, and every aspect of our lives. Students don't just realize their full potential, we learn to soar. The #1 K-12 school in Milwaukee is expanding to the North Shore and is now enrolling grades K4 through 6th and 9th. Aug Prep North, made for more. Apply today at augprep.org.
You bold. Now it's time to bid. A WTMJ silent auction in support of the Milwaukee Diaper Mission right now at WTMJcares.com. 30 items up for bid. I was just looking at these with Kristen Bry, including game-worn Giannis gear, a pair of signed Thanasis Antetokounmpo shoes, Chula Vista water passes. There's Brewer stuff. There's really cool stuff. The best part about the auction, every dollar of the winning bid goes directly to the Milwaukee Diaper Mission in support of supplies for families in need across southeast Wisconsin. Check it out, WTMJcares.com, to give back and get something pretty cool in return.
Traffic is sponsored by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Whatever the weather, visit WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. Visit Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center today for another two-man scramble tournament. Play at Georgia Golf Club on spacious, state-of-the-art simulators unlike any other.
Must play in March. Cash prizes only. No green jackets.
Traffic and weather. Debbie Lazaga, how are we doing out there?
Well, we've got a crash on 41 southbound at Capitol Drive off on the left shoulder, so watch for that. The ramp from Capitol Drive to southbound also is closed with the crash, so be careful. Another one on the ramp from Jackson Street to 794 westbound. Beyond that, though, we've got delays from just before 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's backing up a bit from about 76th Street through the Stadium interchange. Southbound 43, watch for backups from Locust all the way down through the Marquette onto the high-rise bridge. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, gradual clearing, low 27. Tomorrow, snow, rain, mix, a high of 44. Friday, chance for rain, a high of 43. Saturday, light snow, 37. Sunday, rain, snow mix, could be snow. We're going to have to sort that out as things get closer, a high of 40 degrees. Gas prices very volatile because of what is happening in Iran and in the Middle East. What's it likely to look like coming up here in the short term and long term at the gas pump? Matt McLean is host of the Over a Barrel podcast. He's with GasBuddy.com. Matt, thank you so much for being with us.
Not a problem at all.
Hey, let's start with some of what's in the news today. The Group of Seven Nations has agreed to release 400 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, the bloc's highest release ever. Give us some perspective. How big a deal is this? What's that likely to mean?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not impressed. I was talking with Patrick DeHaan, the head of petroleum analysis here at Gas Buddy earlier. He is not impressed. And the reason that there's a lack of impression there is simply because of the amount of oil that the strategic reserves will collectively be able to release on a daily basis. It nowhere nearly totals the quantity of oil that the Strait of Hormuz normally carries on a daily basis, which is 20 million barrels a day. We need to get something solved with regard to the Strait of Hormuz, or they need to figure out a way, which the second option really isn't an option. It's just not going to be possible to get to the fact where the strategic petroleum reserves across the globe can collectively get a little bit closer to that 20 million barrels a day.
I'm driving on E right now. I'm waiting.
You're going to need to start walking.
I'm going to have to, yeah, I know. I'm going to have to get a bike or a bus pass. So Someone from the 414 just texted gas was 40 cents less just 2 days ago in West Bend. What do you see in the coming days when I need to fill back up in the next 2 weeks?
So we accurately predicted here at Gas Buddy that prices would stall at about this point in time. We were talking about that on Sunday and Monday of this week, and it was based on an immediate analysis of what had already transpired in the conflict. Now that we've had a few days of the work week here and we've had ongoing days where the conflict has continued to go, we're also predicting, unfortunately, the prices will probably start increasing again as early as this weekend. I can already hear the collective just absolute gasp and moans and groans for any and everybody that's listening right now. It is an unfortunate situation. I'm actually growing more and more concerned, not so much even about the price of the pump, but how this ripple effect will impact more than just what we pay at the pump, but rather items at the grocery store and beyond.
So the U.S. is a net oil exporter. Does that put us in a stronger position than some European countries who have to import almost everything?
We produce more oil in this country than we know what to do with it, and that's kind of a bit of an exaggeration, but we are absolutely an exporter of oil. So is Canada, for that matter, and so is Mexico, for that matter. The North American continent's in great shape. We will not have a supply issue in this country. We only have a price issue. I realize when I say only, that may be taken a bit out of context from some folks, especially price-sensitive folks that are really struggling along. I don't mean that as a negative slight. What I'm basically saying is as long as we need fuel, we're going to have fuel here. Places like Europe, well, it's kind of a touch and go on there. I'm more concerned about Asia currently because they rely heavily on Mideast oil. And as you probably realize, we get a lot of things that are produced for the United States in Asia, a lot of different products that get shipped over here from there. We very well, if we are not already seeing shortages in that area, that's going to be happening very soon if we don't get something solved pretty quickly when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz.
All right, Matt, then why don't we just either slow the exportation of oil or say, look, we have enough here that amount is not an issue? Can't that help stabilize prices? Why are we so super concerned about what's happening in Iran and oil supply if we have more than enough of it here? Take us inside that.
No, it's a question I get asked every time I say what I just said a few moments ago. And the short answer is crude oil markets are global markets. Everything is interlocked together. The confusion comes down to play that when we in America look at a crude oil price, we see it in U.S. dollars. What we need to also realize and remember is that, let's say, Australia wants to sell oil to Japan. That exchange of oil is also handled in U.S. dollars. The U.S. crude oil market is a global market that every exchange happens to take place in U.S. dollars. But the positive sides far outweigh the negative sides on any good point in time of day. The problem is when you run into a conflict like this, that's when you start running into a problem when it comes to the overall price point of oil across the globe. What impacts one place in the Middle East, for example, which is a very realistic aspect of what we're seeing right now, impacts oil prices across the globe. We're just simply too interconnected to start separating those things out. It would be a virtual impossibility at this point.
What a mess. I think that our barrel capacity as of early this year is 714 million barrel capacity, and we knocked out more than half of that already. So in your crystal ball, what do you see happening if we take all of our reserves?
It would be very unwise, in my professional opinion, to take our strategic reserves on such an early scale such as this and try to figure out a way, to temporarily stabilize things. And here's why I say that. I was a news anchor back during 9/11, Afghanistan, Iraq. I was a field reporter. I've done all of these things, and it's important to remember that a war or a conflict is not over until the war or conflict is over. We don't know where the missiles are going to go tomorrow. It hasn't happened yet. So we have to really be very strategic and very cautious as to how we handle emergency reserves at this point in time, Because if we use them too early, what do we have then down the road should something happen where we need it even more so then? I recognize in places like Asia, there may be some shortages that are starting to transpire. I feel for them, and something in a global perspective, we can try to do everything that we can collectively to help. But if we start tapping the emergency reserves in such an early stage, I am very concerned that this particular aspect of the conflict is going to go on quite a bit longer than most people realize. And then if we need those because the situation takes a dramatic turn in the negative, we won't have that strategic supply anymore to rely on.
GasBuddy.com's Matt McLean. Thank you, Matt.
No problem. Anytime.
The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Let's check it out. The NASDAQ eked out a little gain. It was up 19 points today. The Dow down another 289 points. Perspective. Not that long ago, it was at 50,000. Now it's below 47,500. The S&P 500 was off 5 points on the day. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference with Annex.
Adrian was seriously injured when a careless driver merged into her lane.
Gruber was there for everything that I needed. Any questions that I had, Gruber was there. They made me feel like everything about my situation and my accident was very important to them, and that made me feel good. And I would definitely call Gruber again for that.
Serving Wisconsin for over 35 years, Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They go above and beyond for their clients.
Connect Chiropractic, a focus on wellness care and helping people do the things they want. I know that's what they do for me. I'm at Connect Chiropractic tomorrow, and my neck and shoulders have been a little bit tight. I missed my last appointment. I'm getting in there because I'm better at pickleball. I'm better at the things I need to do around the house. I'm a better person because my neck and back feel better after I've been to Connect Chiropractic. Voted Milwaukee's top chiropractor by Milwaukee Journal Sentinel readers. Locations in Tosa, that's where I go, Delafield, and Oak Creek, brand new. Connect with Connect.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. As the days get longer and Wisconsin weather shifts, it's a good time to check your home's comfort. If your house felt drafty this winter, it may be time for an upgrade. Hometown offers energy-efficient windows and doors from Bella, Marvin, Anderson, and more. All on display in their New Berlin showroom, all installed by Hometown employee carpenters. Wood, vinyl, or Fibrex, they have options for every budget. Call my friends today at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris talk to former NBA guard Rashad McCants. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
A buck in today's world doesn't go far unless you're spending it at Griffin. Because for just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. Buy one or a whole set. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand. We'll put you in new tires for just $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. That's right, $1 over cost, and we'll even show you the invoice to prove it. So what's the catch? There's really no catch. You don't have to buy a car or a truck from us. We'd like it if you did. But our only requirement is we put them on for you. Buy 1, 2, or a set of 4. The $1 deal at Griffin. Available at Griffin Chrysler Jeep South, 27th Street, and Griffin Ford Waukesha. The $1 deal at Griffin. Make your dollar go further. Griffin, the buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. $1 over cost. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
So if you're looking to install a new glass shower door, you're going to want to see selection. The more you see, the better choice you can make. And that's why our store is loaded with 20 different glass shower door options. And what sets Les's Glass apart is that you're going to have somebody close by for help who's been here for years and years to ask them questions and get reliable answers. Now, no one's going to be hounding you, but when you need an answer, you're not going to have to search around. One thing you can count on at Les's Glass is that there will always be a member of our staff here with decades of experience. And that matters, because how many times have you been at the big box home improvement store, walking around trying to find someone who can actually answer your questions? This is Stacy Sinks. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 3:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: lawmakers want answers about a timeline for the Iran war.
I'm Julia Fellow. A spike in vehicles ending up at the tow lot in Milwaukee.
I'm Debbie Loziga. Okay, things are getting wet out there and getting a little bit slick, so we've got a bunch of accidents to deal with. Westbound 94, right at the ramp from St. Paul Avenue, the left lane is closed there. Then we've also got one on 94 eastbound at 175 northbound in the Stadium interchange. Got a couple of them on 41 southbound at Capitol Drive, so you do want to be careful. On the southbound side, we got the outer lanes closed, so only the center lane is getting through there. Also, the on-ramp from Capitol Drive to southbound is closed right now. So big delays coming in from Appleton Avenue to that point. And on the northbound side, backing up from North Avenue all the way to Capitol as well. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Gradual clearing tonight, a low of 27. Tomorrow, a snow-rain mix. Likely at night. Tomorrow, a high 44. Right now in Milwaukee, it's snowing and 35 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, lawmakers remain split over the war in Iran. News Nation's Trevor Shirley.
Congress this week got more classified briefings, and lawmakers remain divided.
I am left with more questions than answers, especially about the cost of the war.
This is an important mission to accomplish, and hopefully it'll be accomplished soon.
Democrats say the administration has still given no clear answers about a timeline or long-term goals, as the situation could get even worse should the Strait of Hormuz become impassable for oil freighters.
It is concerning, it is disturbing, and I'm not sure what the end game is.
Many Republicans support the war effort. Today, the U.S. military says it bombed a fleet of Iranian ships that were trying to plant mines to sabotage the Strait of Hormuz.
Decision Wisconsin, there's less than 4 weeks to go until voters will elect the newest member of the state Supreme Court.
In terms of hype and dollars, the race between Judge Chris Taylor and Judge Maria Lazar appears to be a far cry from 2025, when Brad Schimmel and Susan Crawford's campaigns broke several spending records. Judge Lazar tells WTMJ's Point Taken a quieter race comes with pros and cons.
My goal was to actually lower the temperatures, and I think we've accomplished that. The con is obviously we need to get people's attention.
Lazar and Taylor will debate each other at Marquette University March 25th. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
We now know the identities of the people that were killed in a double shooting on Milwaukee's north side Monday night. It happened near Darien and Green Tree. It was 31-year-old Maya Tolbert and 33-year-old Giovanni McVicker who were both killed. The medical examiner both ruled their deaths as homicides. They have arrested a 27-year-old. The motive is still not disclosed.
The city of Milwaukee's new tow ordinance for reckless driving is landing more vehicles at the impound lot.
The total is now 100 vehicles since the ordinance went into effect in November. Police can now impound any vehicle used in a reckless driving incident, even if it's the driver's first offense or the driver is not the owner of the vehicle. Tow lot officials report the impounds have generated over $18,000 in fees and nearly $3,000 in citation payments. 2 cars have been recycled, and so far, none of the cars impounded were reported as stolen. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Milwaukee County leaders are considering a plan to increase transparency in government contracts. A proposal moving through the county board would create a public dashboard, allowing residents and policymakers to review key contract details. Milwaukee County Supervisor Jackie Belinsky.
Having a public-facing dashboard where we can see all the contracts at a glance, when they expire, how large they are, what they're for, all that sort of thing, would give us more time to reach out to the relevant departments in advance. And so hopefully nothing like what happened with our healthcare administrative contract would happen again.
If approved, officials would develop a plan for the dashboard and present it to the board by June.
Conference changes are coming to high school sports programs in southeast Wisconsin.
The Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association Board of Control approved a plan moving Menominee Falls and Germantown from the Greater Metro Conference to the North Shore Conference. Grafton shifts to the Glacier Trails Conference. Other Milwaukee area realignment proposals were sent back for additional review. For now, Milwaukee Reagan High School will stay in the Milwaukee Conference, and Carmen Southeast continues as an independent program. The next board meeting is April 22nd. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The NFL League year and free agent period is now open. The Green Bay Packers signing veteran wide receiver, kick returner Sky Moore, re-signing defensive end Brenton Cox Jr. on a 1-year, $2.5 million deal. According to ESPN, they're also offering a contract extension to center Sean Ryan. College basketball, Marquette begins the Big East tournament tonight against Xavier. Hear the game on 94.5 at 5:30. And Greg Gard's Wisconsin Badgers will face either Washington or USC in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten tournament.
Never satisfied with where we can be, and I think that keeps us hungry and confident and humble at the same time.
Thursday's game is scheduled for tip-off at 1:30. Badger Sports updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:36.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at AmazonBusiness.com.
Celebrate St. Patrick's Day, Tuesday, March 17th at the O Mine Shaft Restaurant in Hartford, the most affordable St. Patty's Day dining destination. The Mine Shaft is so much fun. The staff is happy and helpful. The food portions are big, and they're super affordable. The corned beef and cabbage plate is just $9.99. Desserts are always buy one, get one free. Don't walk out of there without a dessert. They're fantastic. Cocktails, beer, appetizers are half price from 2 till 5 at the bar only. Half price even on St. Patrick's Day. Stop at the Mine Shaft after the Town of Erin St. Patrick's Day parade for a cold green beer and the fabulous corned beef and cabbage. How fun is that? Everyone's Irish on St. Patty's Day at the O Mine Shaft Restaurant. Open at 10:30. Arrive early for the $9.99 corned beef and cabbage. The Mine Shaft in beautiful Hartford and near the EAA in Oshkosh. It's big food. It's big fun. Google, call, and reserve your St. Patrick's Day table at the Mine Shaft.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
3:37 on WTMJ. Don and Julia here. I'm getting a little nervous.
You are? About your big trip?
This time next week, I should be done attempting to talk to both U.S. senators at the Capitol to speak on behalf of the Michael J. Fox Foundation and Parkinson's Foundation to urge them to prioritize research funding for Parkinson's disease. I'm not going in a professional capacity, but I'll be bringing you along for the ride. So maybe if you have something that you have a huge initiative for and you don't know, how do you even talk to a lawmaker, let alone going to Washington, D.C., I'll take you along for the ride. And my husband, Jason, was diagnosed with young onset Parkinson's disease at 39. He'll be with me.
That's great.
And thanks to John's support and Wisconsin's Afternoon News, we've done 2 separate hour specials on this subject. The first was when... Was that you with the music? No. Was that Nate?
Just a little something extra for you.
Just a little something. Yeah, a little Coldplay. So it was the first time we publicly told the world Jason's devastating diagnosis.
It was powerful.
So each time we've had on Bob Vansfield, who lives with Parkinson's, and he is the head of the Wisconsin Parkinson Midwest chapter. So he was talking about an experimental brain surgery he was about to get to possibly find a cure to Parkinson's and many, many other diseases. And here's part of his story, and I'll tell you why I'm talking about this today.
There's a study underway that's currently had very positive results with a number of patients in New York and Toronto with injection of stem cells.
In the first one, how many brain stem cells did you get injected to the brain, the people who were in the first study?
They got either 900,000 or 2.7 million.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, at some point there's being an injection right into the brain. So I mean, to me, it's just one. It's one example of there's so much research.
So in the dead center of your brain, that's where the dopamine lives. And that's where Bob and my husband, Jason, who's in studio with us, they don't have as much dopamine. When you're diagnosed, you probably have 50% left. So what do you think could happen if they inject stem cells in the area of the brain where dopamine should live? Should it mimic more dopamine and replenish itself? Is that the hope?
Right. The hope is that these cells will now become dopamine-producing cells, take over where the ones that have died or are dying.
The fascinating part as I read about it was, people think that stem cells, you think donor. Through a whole ton of science and magic, they take your cells, turn them into stem cells, and then turn them into this nerve cell. So it also takes the variable of rejection. Like if it was donor, you'd have to have immunosuppressants like when you receive an organ.
That's
this also
remarkable.
takes that all those variables off the table, and it's finally something that could slow or change the disease, where a lot of research, medicine for symptoms is great, but slowing or stopping and a cure would be ideal.
What's amazing is that the first study, the first round of patients that have gotten it, they've all had some sort of improvement. So that was last year.
Uh-huh.
Guess what?
What happened?
Bob got the surgery.
Oh, my gosh.
It's been put off multiple times. 10 days ago.
Oh, wow.
He was on the Parkinson's meeting that I just had this afternoon.
He was on the call 10 days after brain surgery?
Yes.
Wow.
He told me he'll find out in 3 to 4 months if he got the 2.7 million of his own stem cells injected into the center of his brain. Or nothing, a placebo.
Whoa.
By the way, the placebo was 2 probes still drilled into his skull. His skull was cracked through, and he showed me his bald head. He took off his hat to show his wounds. And I said, on behalf of everybody, Bob, you're like an astronaut to me. Seriously.
Yeah.
You are the next thing. So it kind of extols why we're going to Washington, D.C. It took for funding, for research, to track this disease. Maybe it can cure something that's affecting your family. It's far-reaching. So I was going to tell you something completely different, but I had to give you an update about Bob.
That's a great update. I mean, we know Bob. He's been in here both times for the hour.
I know.
That's amazing. So you will take us with on the journey. That's next week. Tomorrow, more on Julia's planned trip. I'm so glad you're going. This is good, important stuff. It is 3:42 at WTMJ. Up next, the legacy of Bob Harlan and new inductees into the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame. Mark Cass with us straight ahead.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company. James' client, Amy Simonson, IT administrator with Professional Services Group.
We have several locations throughout southeastern Wisconsin. Having them all under one company has been very helpful.
Big or small, one location or several, James Imaging Systems is your one-stop business technology resource.
And they are on top of everything. When we have a problem, it's answered right away.
James Imaging Systems, IT-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation, and unrivaled local service and support.
And they're always looking for what else can we do? What else do you need? So they want our company to succeed as well as their own.
Let James Imaging Systems help your business succeed. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
This is former Wisconsin Attorney General J.B. Van Hollen with a message for my fellow conservatives about online sports betting. Online sports betting is fun. It protects kids against illegal gambling websites, and it generates billions in tax revenue. But today, Madison politicians are considering a secret deal that could give exclusive control of sports betting to one Indian tribe. One Indian tribe making the majority of all the revenue? Our Constitution requires a vote of the people on expanded sports betting, but Madison insiders want secrecy. What's worse, their plan could leave Governor Evers the sole power to negotiate with the tribes. Madison politicians want to bypass our state constitution. and it could mean less accountability with control concentrated with one Indian tribe. Tell Madison, no secret deal on online sports betting. Paid for by Sports Betting Alliance.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Do you love the way your home looks? When you pull in, do you think, wow, the old homestead looks fantastic? Or do you notice that the siding's all faded and the roof is kind of falling apart? Well, Tri-County Contracting can help make it look the way you truly want it and make you love it. The website is tricountycontractingwi.com. It's roofing, siding, and windows that'll make you love your home again. TriCountyContractingWI.com.
Point taken with Scafidi and Bride.
President Trump has said that he will not sign any other bills until the SAVE Act passes.
This is trying to do something that is working against the interest of all voters. When something's already illegal, we don't have to create more legislation to make it, illegal squared? What's the point of that?
I don't know who's set themselves up for a worse situation by this threat from President Trump.
Weekdays from 10 to noon on WTMJ.
Sponsored by Accunet Mortgage.
Get your rock solid pre-approval or a no-pressure refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Traffic and then weather. Debbie Lazaga, how are the roads right now? It's kind of bad out.
Yeah, it's not great. Eastbound 94, right about at the stadium interchange, we do have a crash on the right shoulder. We're seeing delays coming in from 76th Street all the way past that point to 35th. We've got another accident southbound 43 right about at North Avenue. This is off on the left shoulder. The accident on the ramp from Jackson Street to westbound 794 still there, still being worked on. And then we've got this crash on 41 southbound at Capitol Drive. The right lane is blocked now. We got the two left lanes open. And then we've also got the on-ramp from Capitol Drive to southbound closed because of a crash. So both of these are in the same general vicinity. Delays coming in from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive. Northbound, by the way, also seeing delays from just north of North Avenue up past Burleigh. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
It's a little snowy out right now. Gradual clearing, not too bad. It'll clear tonight, a low of 27. Tomorrow, a rain-snow mix. Likely tomorrow night, a high of 44. A mix again Friday, a high of 43. Saturday, a chance of snow. Light snow, a high of 37. Rain and snow mix Sunday, a high of 40. Right now in Milwaukee, it's snowing lightly, 36 degrees.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast brought to you via Infinity Exteriors, your local experts in roofing, siding, and window projects. Hey, we're joined in the studio by Mark Cass. He is the Executive Director of the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame and Chief Operating Officer for Team Lammy. And just in an article published yesterday, he is one of the 10,000 best pickleball players
wait,
in
so
Wisconsin.
Then you're like one of the 1 millionth best players? Is that it?
Well, if you're 10,000, I am a little higher number than that.
Yeah, no. You're a much higher number.
Congratulations, Mark. Cracked the top 10,000. Nice job.
It's like the 100 best players in the NFL. Same thing, right?
Hey, thanks for being here with us.
Of course.
I wanted to ask you about Bob Harlan.
Yes.
I know you know Bob Harlan.
Yes.
You knew Bob Harlan.
Yes.
You know his family. Talk about his legacy.
An amazing person, and I've been telling this story the past week because it's amazing. I'm a young reporter. It's probably early mid 90s, and I get assigned a story in the Packers. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to call the CEO. So I call the CEO. Call the Packers office. I get the receptionist. She puts me through. I'm thinking I'm getting his secretary. No, it's Bob. Bob answers the phone and answers every one of my questions. And every call I ever made to him as a reporter, he answered his own phone.
It's amazing.
It's an amazing story. And it's funny because I was on the day it happened, unfortunately, him passing last week, I was with Mark Murphy, and I was actually hosting an event with Mark.
Wow.
And I said to Mark, I called Bob. He answers his own phone. I called you. I get voicemail. What the heck? He goes, yeah, but he said, but I always called you back. I'm like, that's true, but you never answered your phone. So, that thing. And now, you know what else has been cool, John? Think about all the players who've come out and who talked about what he meant to their careers. He was the president. He wasn't the general manager. He wasn't the coach. But what I've often said about Bob Harlan is he's just a nice guy who cared. And you just see that. Think about all the things he did, from the hiring of Ron Wolf, which led to the hiring of Mike Holmgren, which led to the trade for Favre, which started, and you are old enough to remember this, you're not, but I am, Green Bay lost for a long time, right?
Yeah,
They lost from
70s
the
and
70s.
80s were miserable.
70s and 80s
He's
were
making me
miserable.
younger and younger
Bob
every time
Harlan
I
took
count.
over, and what happened? Or not took over. He changed
Yeah.
the legacy.
Yeah, he
And
did.
from then on, we've had winning teams. I've talked about from Favre through Jordan Love, we've had 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Think about the other thing that changed the landscape of the NFL and the Packers. It was on his watch that Reggie White came in.
Yes.
That Reggie White accepted the
Yeah,
culture that
right.
he had a big
And,
hand in building.
The thing that I heard from talking with Mark Murphy was he also got the stadium project done. Think about that. And if you remember, I think this has been lost in all that. And I remember you lived up in Brown County.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I did.
At the time, I don't know if you remember, what was the vote total? Do you remember? It won. It won by 6%, 53-47.
Yes.
In Brown County.
Yep.
Where the Pack. So if that tax wasn't approved,
we'd be talking a whole different
we'd be
thing.
talking. Would the Packers still be there?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair question.
That's a scary thing to talk about. But that referendum and that first project, which led to the second project, which led to everything around the stadium.
Yeah.
But if that first project and that referendum, and I remember when that was all going down, at the end there, it was close. He was going out and he was going door to door.
He did. I remember.
Bob Harlan
he worked
going
the neighborhood.
door to door.
Yeah.
The president of the Packers
Yeah.
to get you to vote for something for the Packer Stadium.
So we talk about how cool it was when Bud Selig walked the legislative
Yes.
offices of Madison. Bob Harlan was walking door to door, literally.
You live near the stadium.
in Brown County.
He probably came and knocked on your door.
Yeah, I think my neighbor said he was walking through the neighborhood,
Think about
literally,
that.
Bob
That's-
Harlan.
That's the president. But what I often talk about is people and kind of their impact is kind of what do people say about you later? And everybody to a person said, nice man, respectful, cared about the city and the team and the players. He cared about them, not just them playing on the field, but them off the field.
Exactly. Where's his funeral? It's
at Lambeau. How cool is that?
I know.
In the atrium. There's
Right.
going to be his family's going to come to the atrium and talk about his life.
And kind of think about his family. His son, who I think is a fantastic announcer. Kevin Harlan, great announcer. Think about that, kind of the legacy there.
And his granddaughter, Harlan's daughter.
Right.
Is also a broadcaster.
It is amazing. And, I just think we lost track of him kind of over the last couple of years as he retired and stuff. And I think we forgot his impact. But I think we've all remembered it over the past week.
I wonder how his son's doing right now because he's extraordinary broadcaster.
I think he is. I think, it's sad, but I think from what I've seen online, they're just in awe of the response. All the way from the commissioner of the NFL, to the guy on the corner who just happens to live near the stadium. We all knew Bob Harlan. I sat with him, 10 times and had wonderful interviews. Great interview. Always answered questions.
I'm interested to see, Mark, what sort of football royalty shows up in Green Bay between Goodell and that side of the house, and whether Brett Favre and Antonio Freeman and Leroy and
Aaron Rodgers who
Driver.
has not had a great run over the past few years.
Right.
What he
Will
said
he come
about
back?
Bob,
Yeah.
I thought was amazing.
You'd expect guys like Favre to be there, who
Right.
said many things, but
Right.
it'll be really interesting to see what part of Packer history shows up.
I think we forgot his impact over the past couple of years. We really did.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And one more thing, you kind of headed down this path. They don't get the NFL draft without Bob Harlan because of Titletown being put into place, which came
obviously
about
Mark
because
Murphy
of the
was
stadium.
the key to getting the draft when it happened. But if you don't do everything else, adding Lodge Kohler, adding the restaurants, adding all that, you don't do that. I don't think obviously the draft never comes, but I'm not convinced the team's still there. Now I'm not saying that will left immediately, but that stadium and the revenue earned from that stadium is very important.
Kept him in the ball game for sure. Let's talk about Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame nominees. I love what you're doing there. You've really taken it up a notch. We're recognizing a lot of different athletes and people who are adjacent to athletics.
Exactly.
Who's
and
named?
Mark Murphy is the first one. Again, we just talked
Love
about
that.
him. Mark, I think, again, you talked about the draft. But the thing I also talk about with Mark is he had the two hardest things to do ever for a CEO. He had to oversee in his first couple months, the transfer from Favre to Rodgers.
Yeah.
Favre unretiring. Favre coming back. Remember that flying into the Green Bay for the preseason?
Yeah.
That was Mark's first 3 months on the job. He has to take that. Then 16 years later, what happens? He's got to oversee the transfer from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. Fascinating to him. And, from talking to him, I just find it really interesting to see what he was able to do. The draft, obviously, a huge concept, but I asked him at that event I was at, what's his number one thing? It's still a Super Bowl. The fact, but I don't know if you know this, John, he's the only one that I could find who actually won a Super Bowl as a player and as a CEO.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, he
I
He
didn't
played
know
for the
that.
Redskins, who won
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
obviously a CEO for the Packers. He won it both times. He said it was the greatest accomplishment ever for him still because people remember that. People assumed Green Bay was going back, and it hasn't happened since.
That's true. That's true.
Think about how hard it is. So he'll be our first honoree, one of our honorees. We're also putting him because it's a World Cup year. We're trying to honor that. We're honoring actually Bob Gansler, World Cup coach for the team. Grew up in Milwaukee, soccer legend here, really well known. Soccer is a huge sport throughout the country. Maybe we don't know it as well, but there's a lot of huge fans. He is like one of the guys kind of nationally, but he has a huge kind of local tie. So we're very excited about that. We have one coming hopefully next week that I think will kind of knock you a little bit. Can't tell you who it is yet, but it's very topical.
Give me some hint. Is it
he or she has been in the news a lot lately?
Oh, give us their initials.
N and O.
How do you decide?
We actually have committees, and we obviously have nominations. We talk through it. We try to get a mix for sports, but it's also, who do we think has had an impact on our region? And I think last year was a lot of fun. Bringing Ernie Johnson in, one of the highlights kind of
fantastic
of my career, talking to Ernie.
Yeah.
But that was one that I don't think people expected.
Yeah, that was fun.
And, that's a thing, too. Ernie Johnson, he deserves to be in there for all he's done, but also what he still thinks about our city and comes back here. And I've told the story, a month after he was inducted, we had the floods here. I don't think people know this. He reached out to me asking how everyone here was doing.
No kidding.
Yeah, he was so concerned.
Is he a Tosa guy? Where'd he grow up? Milwaukee,
No,
Tosa?
right on the 68th and North, so right on the line.
Wow.
He went back when he was here that day.
That's
for the
right, with
ceremony.
Barkley
Yes.
and some other guys.
Kind of the mean streets of Milwaukee.
Yeah.
He called it. The mean streets of Tosa, he called it. But that, to me, is a great example of not a traditional athlete, but yet somebody we all should be very proud of.
That is super cool. Mark Cass is the Chief Operating Officer for Team Lammy, and he's the Executive Director of that Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame. Great perspective, Mark. Thank you so much.
Always good to be here, guys.
It is 3:56 at WTMJ.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
President Donald Trump has become a fan of dress shoes from a Glendale company, according to the Wall Street Journal. The publication reports Trump gives Florsheim footwear to agency heads, lawmakers, White House advisors, VIPs, and celebrities. Landmark Credit Union plans to acquire American National Bank Fox Cities. The transaction is expected to close in the second half of 2026. And Milwaukee Development Corporation is advancing a $49 million plan to convert the former Doctors Hospital complex into 124 affordable senior apartments. The nonprofit seeks tax incremental financing from the city of Milwaukee. I'm Sari Lesk with Milwaukee BusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Practical principles that make every dollar count. Small budget advertisers can't afford to waste one penny. It all has to go to work in the most effective and efficient way possible. Anderson Smith advertisers are setting themselves apart 24 hours a day, every day of the year. The power of the airwaves is real. You just have to know how to harness it. We'll get you deals you can't, and you'll get results that you won't without us. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results. Don't buy ad packages. Buy into a plan, even if you don't use us to do it. Because unless you're willing to sell your product or service for a lot less than what it's worth, you're setting yourself up for almost guaranteed failure. Put an ad plan together and stick to it. Tell them what sets you apart and have consistent branding so it can work for you with a snowball effect rather than just trying to make a big splash. And if you need someone who can really make your dollars work hard for you, Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results.
Fleet Farm invites you to gear up for spring with early season savings in-store and online. Stop in and stock up on deals like 50 pounds of Sprout cracked corn, just $9.49 a bag. 24 packs of Fleet Farm bottled water are 2 for $5. And save 30% on men's and ladies' work gloves for all your outdoor chores. Visit your local Fleet Farm for these deals and more. And be sure to check out our live chicks in store with select breeds available now. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Before I moved to Capri Communities, my daughter spent more time helping me with chores than enjoying our visits. Now, when she comes over, we go to concerts, enjoy delicious meals, and participate in great activities that are always happening. I choose senior living so that our time together can be about fun, not fixing things. And I love the freedom it gives me every day.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again. Get started today at capricommunities.com.
Hey, Shopko Optical's got all your optical needs taken care of. You get that annual comprehensive exam, order the supply of contacts or lenses. They've got a great wall full of glasses. Dr. Zach is my guy there. Piece of cake. I go in Pewaukee. They've got locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. It's quick. It's easy. It's a really cool vibe. It's Shopko Optical. If you're not sure where to go or you're part of a big system and just aren't really happy, check out Shopko Optical. They processed my insurance. It was easy. I just really liked it. Check shopco.com. Schedule an appointment at a location near you. Shopco.com.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests.
That's WTMJ.com/contests.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
This report sponsored by Exterior Pros and Baths. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation. Don't just upgrade, transform your home. From bold exteriors to breathtaking baths, Exterior Pros makes it happen. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 4 o'clock. I'm John Merkier. Your top story, all eyes on the Strait of Hormuz.
I'm Julia Fellow. A teenager was shot to death in Racine.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Accidents pretty much everywhere. Right now, southbound 43 right at Locust. We've got one on the left shoulder, and a little bit further down at North Avenue, we've got another one on the left shoulder. So both of these areas going to be tied up. Delays from Keefe all the way down through the Marquette and onto the high-rise bridge. Another accident, eastbound 94 at Highway 175 off on the right shoulder, and two more right around Capitol Drive off of 41 southbound. One right on the main line with the right lane blocked, and another one on the on-ramp from Capitol Drive to southbound. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Your forecast for tonight, gradual clearing, a low of 27. Tomorrow, increasing clouds, a high of 44. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Iran continues to try to prevent oil ships from passing through the Strait of Hormuz. News Nation's Nicole Burley.
As Iran targets that key shipping route. 3 cargo ships already struck off the coast of Iran just this morning. This route is of strategic importance for a large percentage of our world's oil transportation. But with its close proximity to Iran, the war is threatening supply and it's sending shockwaves through the global economy.
Oil and gas prices here in the U.S. have increased by 30% since the war began. The U.S. military says it's bombed a fleet of Iranian ships trying to plant mines. Iran's military began a blockade of the strait after Operation Epic Fury began.
In Lebanon, more than 600 people have been killed, 1,500 wounded there as Israeli strikes continue. ABC's Matt Rivers.
There's only about 5.6 million people or so across all of Lebanon. Nearly 1 million of them are now displaced, according to various government estimates. We saw some of that in one shelter that we went to at a public school, and we spoke to a spokeswoman from the World Food Program who was there delivering hot meals. She is Lebanese herself, and she told us that this is unfortunately something that the Lebanese population has gotten used to over the years.
Israel says it's targeting Hezbollah infrastructure and leadership, according to the United Nations.
A mother's looking for her son, and his former teacher might be involved. 15-year-old Avian Binion ran away from home on February 28th. His mother, Vanity, tells our sister station 1017 The Truth that a teacher from Milwaukee Public Schools had been texting him and sending money.
My son was at this lady's house, kicking it with his homies. So this is why I can't say if it's what it is. But there's messages that she's asking my son, are you at the hotel? What hotel? She said she got him an Uber to a hotel.
MPS confirms the teacher's not currently working in the school. Avian Binion is still missing.
A man was shot and killed in Racine. Police responded about 1 o'clock yesterday morning to reports of shots fired on Racine's southwest side They found an 18-year-old man shot in the abdomen, and he died from his injuries. Police say this was isolated. No one is in custody, though.
A man accused of killing his mother with a baseball bat pleads not guilty.
38-year-old Hayward Jenkins faces one felony count of first-degree intentional homicide in the death of his mother, 66-year-old Cheryl Jenkins. Court documents show Jenkins got into an argument with his mother in their home near 44th and Mitchell, and then he allegedly hit her multiple times in the head with the baseball bat before fleeing the house. Jenkins was later arrested at Potawatomi Casino. He faces life in prison if convicted on all charges. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Home sales spiking up slightly across the Milwaukee area during what's typically a slow winter season.
Home sales in the metro Milwaukee area are up 2.9% in February compared to a year ago, according to the Greater Milwaukee Association of Realtors. Listings are also climbing, up more than 16% metro-wide. Despite inventory rising for more than 2 years, housing supply still hasn't caught up with buyer demand. The average sale price in the metro area, just over $407,000. Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Coming up, tournament play continues for college hoops.
Outdoor Living Limited, WTMJ News Time, 4:04.
From my family and myself, I would like to say thank you to Gruber Law Offices for taking such good care of us.
I would say thank you because you were so human and so much of a friend during the whole process.
I'm super grateful for them representing me and doing all that they did for me.
I would just say thank you for making me feel better.
That's why I'm here, to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. You're gonna love it all when you shop at St. Vincent de Paul. Old things, new things here for you. We're always changing, we're always new. So many friendly people, smiles from wall to wall. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
True luxury is the absence of worry. It begins the moment you settle into your seat with Delta Vacations and continues as you step onto the polished teak decks of a Holland America ship. Whether you're chasing the northern lights or the Mediterranean sun, Fox World Travel anticipates every detail so you can simply savor the journey. Stop managing the logistics and start making memories. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to elevate your travel today.
All right, it's time for a sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The NFL league year and free agent signing period officially underway. Packers are signing veteran wide receiver and kick returner Sky Moore. Brewers starting pitcher Quinn Priester is going to now see a specialist in Dallas tomorrow to find answers about his lingering right wrist soreness. It's possible he will begin the regular season on the injured list. Outdoor Living Limited, WTMJ News Time, 4:07.
This report is brought to you by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
It's March and Wisconsin's spring is finally here. Time to upgrade your windows that are failing, drafty, foggy, or just flat out unbearable to deal with. At Siding Unlimited, we install beautiful, energy-efficient windows designed to make your home more comfortable and affordable to maintain. Choose the rich, natural look of wood, the stylish and proven vinyl, or the incredible strength and durability of fiberglass, all built to battle every Wisconsin season. New windows installed by Siding Unlimited don't just transform how your home looks, they help lower energy bills, reduce outside noise, and maximize natural light in every room, making your home brighter on sunny days. Trust the local family-operated Siding Unlimited to be the company of choice for your next window project. Proven to be the best by earning Pella's prestigious Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. Call Siding Unlimited at 262-567-4513 or visit sidingunlimited.com today.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
All right, glad that you're with us, and we're super glad that our teammate and our friend Tori Lowe, host of the Tori Lowe Show, from 1 to 4 on 101.7 The Truth, is with us in the studio.
Hey, thank
Tori.
y'all for having me, as usual.
So good to have you here. I wanted to dive into this story that I know you're very familiar with. We've been reporting on. It's about the shooting at Aurora Sinai. A guy was killed. Let's start recapping for people. Take us inside what happened.
Well, this happened, I think, March 5th.
Yep.
4th or 5th. And Attorney B. Ivy Lamar was asked by the family, retained by the family, of Christopher Robinson Jr., who was shot inside the emergency department of Aurora Sinai Medical Center during the early morning hours of Monday, March 2nd. This happened March 2nd, 2026. And the family was asking questions. How do you get shot in the emergency room? And he went in there because he had a bad hip.
I know. He was being wheeled in.
Yeah, and his mom was there as well. She was right there in the emergency room with him as an eyewitness to what took place.
And he was shot in the head.
Yeah, and the sad part about it is the guy that did the shooting was in a wheelchair.
Yep.
He set off the alarm.
The metal detector.
He set off the metal detector, but they didn't warn him.
They just waved him through.
Just let him go through, and then and they fired those security that allowed that to happen. But once again, you go in with a hip, something going on with your hip, and then you leave on life support. And while this was going on, while he was on life support, interestingly, the news had reported that he had passed.
Oh, yeah, the medical examiner. Right. Well, the medical examiner.
It was the ME. Yeah, Julie's right. The ME told the media
told the
that
media
he had passed.
So here goes a mom trying to pray that her son makes it through, and they're saying he passed, but the official date of him passing is Saturday, this past Saturday. And the Aurora did admit that there were some issues with the security and said that they were going to do a better job of protecting those coming through the emergency. So that was a plus. And I think that the mom is now just hoping that there is some changes in how Aurora handled the situation, and Attorney Ivy Lamar is looking for more accountability toward what they're going to do for the family.
Is the family going to pursue legal action? Is the family looking at their alternatives? Where's that at?
I think that the hope is that Aurora Sinai would just do right by the family instead of making them go through longer, how court procedures go.
Oh, yeah.
They can go on for years. Yeah. So hopefully they can work something out that's reasonable for the family.
If you hire B. Ivy Lamar, you know that there's going to be a big settlement.
Right, of course. B. Ivy Lamar is hands down one of the best attorneys in the state of Wisconsin when it comes to human and civil rights. And salute to Attorney B. Ivy Lamar, who's my close friend as well. But I'll tell you this, this situation just has a lot of people just kind of in awe because nobody thinks that when they're going to the hospital that they're going to the hospital to save their life.
Yeah. It's shocking.
It's
just
to get better, not to get worse.
Right.
So, this lapse is unbelievable. So the hospital says they've implemented additional security, enhanced screening, K-9 unit, blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't do this family any good. I mean, to just ignore when the metal detector's gone off, beep, go ahead, sir. He's in a wheelchair. Just go ahead.
Right.
And he had a gun.
You could have wanded him.
Right.
They
should
needed to wand him. This was protocol.
Right.
This is what they supposed to do. So, once again, the tragic situation, salute to Attorney B. Ivy Lamar, salute to the family for coming out, telling their story. Also, one of those things, when you see things like this, it makes a lot of regular people scratch their head, wondering if they're even safe
As an
some
advocate,
of these emergency rooms. Yeah.
You comfort people for a living.
Yes.
What do you tell people in these positions that have just had an unspeakable tragedy in their mourning? How do you help them get their pieces back together?
I always say we got to work to get justice for your loved one. There's a huge fight that we have to fight, and you're the voice now.
And that makes a difference for them, right?
It does, because it shifts the gears into them knowing that they have a they have to make sure that they get justice. And this was definitely an injustice that took place on the behalf of Sinai, the security there. He was also about to graduate from MATC.
Oh, that's a tragic story. He is Torey Lowe. Check him out on 101.7 The Truth. Torey, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all for having me.
It is 4:13 at WTMJ.
Tickets
Hey, everybody.
are on sale now. This year, it all kicks off at our house with opening day at home, followed up with a schedule that's absolutely loaded. Throw in the same flair for the dramatic thrills on any given night. Plus Brewers giveaways you won't forget. And you've got a season you're going to have to see to believe. Don't miss a second of Brewers action this year. The crew is back for more. All Brewers tickets for the 2026 season are on sale now at Brewers.com.
Hey everybody, Debbie Lazaga here for Comfort Awnings. They're from Burlington, and they are your awnings and screenings experts. They service all of southeast Wisconsin and northern Illinois. Now, why are we talking about this right now when the weather's so icky bad? Well, I got to tell you, they have such a great selection. They custom make these awnings and screens for your home. They'll come out, measure everything, give you the idea of what kind of things you could do with it, the huge selection of colors and fabrics. That's what they did with mine. They came out to my home, measured everything up, and we made the selections, and boom, after a little bit, boom, I've got myself an awning that is awesome. It is automated as well. I just have to hit a button, and boom, the thing comes out, and it is an extension of my living space. Now, spring is coming, believe it or not. Yes, spring is coming quickly, and now is a great time to get your awning installed, to have it ready once the temperatures warm up. Enjoy the shade in your backyard with your extension of your living space. They're local, family-owned. They pride themselves on customer service. They got a great deal going on right now until the end of March. You can get a free motor with the purchase of any retractable awning or screen. Call 414-AWNINGS for a free estimate or visit comfortawnings.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
What do the Milwaukee Brewers, Milwaukee Bucks, a foursome of golf, and a massage package have in common? They're all things you can bid on and win during WTMJ's silent auction in support of the Milwaukee Diaper Mission. From now until Friday, you can go to WTMJcares.com, bid on some cool stuff, 30 items, including game-worn Giannis gear, a signed bat and ball from Andrew Vaughn. How about a golf foursome at Morningstar in Waukesha? Spa package at Anton's. It's really cool. The best part is that your money goes to support the Milwaukee Diaper Mission, which supplies diapers to families in need in Milwaukee and across southeast Wisconsin. Bid right now at WTMJcares.com.
Potential is like God's love. It lives within everyone and shows us that we are made for more. At Aug Prep, faith ignites excellence in academics, the arts, athletics, and every aspect of our lives. Students don't just realize their full potential, we learn to soar. The #1 K-12 school in Milwaukee is expanding to the North Shore and is now enrolling grades K4 through 6th and 9th. Aug Prep North, made for more. Apply today at augprep.org.
Get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at accunet.com.
Traffic and weather. Debbie Lazaga, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. Well, wet roads making for a nasty kind of ride. First of all, we've got a crash southbound on 43, basically just about at Locust. Should be pretty much cleared up if it hasn't already pulled away, but we do have delays beyond that, all the way down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. We do have another crash eastbound 94 at Mitchell Boulevard. This one's off on the right shoulder, and we're still dealing with those accidents on 41 southbound at Capitol Drive. There's one in the right lane at Capitol, and then there's one on the ramp from Capitol Drive to southbound 41. So all that is going to be making for a big delay from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol. And then on eastbound 94, you got backups from about 84th Street all the way through to 35th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, decreasing clouds, a low of 28 degrees. Tomorrow, rain-snow mix, high of 44. Friday, partly cloudy, windy, a high of 45. Saturday, light snow, a high of 37. Sunday, heavy wintry mix, likely, a high of 35. How much snow could we get on Sunday? Chief Meteorologist Brian Desnansky with us live, coming up at 5:35. The war against Iran continues. The president saying not that long ago that he thinks it will end soon. Quote, there aren't many targets left. We're also learning that, according to the FBI, Iran is aspiring to attack the U.S. with drones. Rich Frankel, former special agent in charge of the FBI, is with us. Rich, thank you so much for making some time for us.
My pleasure.
Hey, what do we know about this possibility of offensive drone attacks against the West Coast?
So the FBI put out a notice or a warning today to local law enforcement in California, basically saying that that Iran wants to commit some act of terror using drones, and that there's a probability or a possibility that they could do that. In the upcoming time period, and they don't give a lot of specifics, but they did put that out. So therefore, there must be something to this.
We're talking about off the West Coast is what the FBI was suggesting. How seriously should local law enforcement treat this warning?
So the fact that FBI put it out, if I was local law enforcement, I would treat it very seriously, but I wouldn't actually change what people are doing on a day-to-day basis. But as far as actions by law enforcement, the possibility is that they could be out in boats or some type of ship, off the coast. If they have any ability to scan that as law enforcement, I would do that. I would also be using any sources, any technical resources, any type of patrols that are available to see what is out there and to see if there is actually a threat. And then, of course, I'd work with federal law enforcement, both FBI and DHS, through the Joint Terrorism Task Force to see, what the current threat status is, and is there anything specific that they need to do.
Hey, Rich, as a former special agent in charge, FBI, when it comes to foreign terrorist attacks, mass attacks on U.S. soil, what sort of things concern the FBI and the CIA the most?
So this type of thing, of course, is always concerning. We have had Iranian activity here in the U.S. I don't know if you call it cells or not cells, but the FBI actually just had taken down a case and convicted user with the U.S. Attorney's Office in Brooklyn, an individual who tried to commit an act of terror here, who was directed by Iran. Iranians have tried to kill journalists here in the U.S. They have also tried to hurt us through our cyber infrastructure, both financial institutions and utilities. So those are the things that, I know that Iran or other terror groups would be trying to do. The good thing is, the JTTF, the FBI, CIA, DHS, all the different agencies through the Joint Terrorism Task Force have been working since 9/11 to target these attacks, to target these individuals who want to commit attacks, and they've gotten pretty good at stopping those attacks. So that is what I would be looking for from the nation states. The other threat that we're always worried about, though, is the lone wolf attack. Those are harder to identify because they are lone wolves. They are people who are by themselves, and they tend not to have that communication with the foreign powers or the terrorist groups. So we lose one of our abilities by not being able to see what communications are taking place.
So we're here in Wisconsin. What are some of the dangers we should look for, or what are the potential dangers?
So potential dangers, again, lone wolf, that could be anywhere in the United States. We just had those two individuals, even though it's two and not one person, but we had those two individuals who threw an IED at Gracie Mansion, in front of the mayor's mansion, and now we're hearing that they might have had other devices and possibly other targets, that they were interested in. That's what I would look for around the country, and for that. What I try to do is tell civilians and law enforcement, you're looking for somebody who has changed fairly radically in the last few months, whether it's because of religion or other social reasons, they've become more radicalized, and they are speaking out about that. They are also potentially buying items that could be used, for terrorism down the line. One of the examples I can give is that both during the subway bombing, the attempted subway bombing back in like 2009, and the two individuals who tried to blow up the ID in front of Gracie Mansion, they both had gone to Pennsylvania to buy fireworks to utilize in their IEDs. Now, of course, other people buy fireworks just to have fun, but that is, something that if that's not something that's usually done by somebody, hey, it's a clue. It's something just to look at, and again, look at all the different things that people are doing, and is it something that you should notify law enforcement about?
Rich Frankel, former special agent in charge of the FBI. Rich, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good day.
In the next hour and a half, we've got great guests coming your direction. After the news, Ann Sayers, the travel secretary, is with us talking wineries and breweries. How fun is that? Right after that, Dale Coinga, Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce, and Packers active in free agency and re-signing some of their own. We've got the list. Alex Strofe with us in the studio at 5:15. Time for the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything, well, I guess it was actually mixed. Let's start with what was up. The NASDAQ climbed 19 points on the day, then the others. The Dow was off 289 points, more than 0.5%. The S&P 500 dropped 6 points on the day. Annex Wealth Management is financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Know the difference with Annex.
We see you out there doing things your way. So why shop the same retail giants as everyone else? We've supplied generations of farms and families with the trusted products you want and need at unbeatable farm and fleet prices. Like select AgriMaster pelleted poultry feed, $11.99. Rewards members save 25% on Balin heavy-duty railgates. And Krylon farm and implement paint, 25% off. In-store and online, we've got the value you need to do things your way. Blaine's Farm and Fleets. Being original.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Sweet Talks Medical Spa in beautiful Menominee Falls. I got my first microneedling ever with Danny. It was fantastic. I booked on sweettalks.com. She described everything she was doing. She used a glow pin. Perfect way to get started. You don't need any numbing. Microneedling is great for what I wanted, which is for rejuvenation, smoothing, and I'm not flaking all over the place. It's fantastic. I have juicy skin. That's what Danny said.
Yeah, juicy skin.
I hope you start your journey like I did at Sweet Talks Medical Spa, Menominee Falls. Head to sweettalks.com.
Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Amore, pepperoni, amore, mozzarella, amore. Screaming Sicilian, screaming Sicilian, more.
Screaming Sicilian frozen pizza. More toppings, more flavor. More is amore.
This is former Wisconsin Attorney General J.B. Van Hollen with a message for my fellow conservatives about online sports betting. Online sports betting is fun. It protects kids against illegal gambling websites, and it generates billions in tax revenue. But today, Madison politicians are considering a secret deal that could give exclusive control of sports betting to one Indian tribe. One Indian tribe making the majority of all the revenue? Our Constitution requires a vote of the people on expanded sports betting, but Madison insiders want secrecy. What's worse, their plan could leave Governor Evers the sole power to negotiate with the tribes. Madison politicians want to bypass our state constitution, and it could mean less accountability with control concentrated with one Indian tribe. Tell Madison, no secret deal on online sports betting. Paid for by Sports Betting Alliance.
For growing businesses, digital marketing shouldn't be a gamble. If your business needs results, not guesswork, it's time for a different approach. At Margle Media, we deliver real results for businesses in an evolving digital world. Backed by data, guided by strategy, and focused on actionable outcomes. We partner with businesses of all sizes to drive growth locally or nationwide. Set up a free consultation today. Visit us at marglemedia.com. That's MARGLE media.com.
Welcome to our Everyday Health feature sponsored by the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. Colorectal cancer is one of the most common cancers in the U.S. Many colorectal cancers start as polyps and may have no early symptoms. Regular screenings can prevent polyps from becoming cancer or can find cancer early when there are the most treatment options. Here to tell us more is Dr. Janice Zhao, a medical oncologist with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network. Thank you for being with us, Dr. Zhao.
Thanks so much for having me.
What is colorectal cancer and where does it start?
Colorectal cancer is a type of cancer that affects the colon, also known as the large intestine and the rectum. Most colorectal cancers start as growths, also called polyps, on the inner lining of the colon or rectum.
Who's at risk for colorectal cancer?
Individual risk factors include age. Most people are diagnosed after the age of 50, although colorectal cancer is on the rise among people younger than 50, as well as family history and lifestyle factors such as diet, obesity, inactivity, and tobacco and alcohol use.
Are there common symptoms to look out for?
So colorectal cancer often doesn't have early symptoms, but if you have any symptoms, you should call your doctor right away. Some symptoms may include blood in the stool, changes in bowel habits, abdominal pain, unexplained weight loss, or fatigue.
Why choose the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network for treatment?
So there are multiple reasons why we would recommend getting your treatment with us. One of which being disease-specific experts who are up to date on the most advanced treatments available for colorectal cancer. There's also ease of access with multiple locations for treatment as close to home as possible. We also have more treatment options through clinical trials, giving access to treatments that might not be available elsewhere. And lastly, we have the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in eastern Wisconsin.
Dr. Janice Zhao is a medical oncologist with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network. Dr. Zhao, thank you so much for being with us today. You can find a doctor who's right for you by visiting freighter.com/doctor. Traffic is sponsored by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Whatever the weather, visit wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com.
Visit Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center today for another two-man scramble tournament. Play at Georgia Golf Club on spacious, state-of-the-art simulators unlike any other.
Must play in March. Cash prizes only. No green jackets.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, the largest oil reserve distribution in history is coming.
I'm Julia Fellow. A deadly arrest in Milwaukee just this afternoon.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and we do have a crash northbound 43 at Fond du Lac Avenue. The left lane is blocked, so delays coming out of the Marquette interchanges for sure. We've got an accident on 94 eastbound at Mitchell Boulevard off on the right shoulder. And then we've also got a couple of accidents at Capitol Drive on 41 southbound, one blocking the right lane on southbound, the other one on the ramp from Capitol Drive to southbound. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The clouds will get out of here. It'll be really breezy, though, a low of 28. Tomorrow, sunny. A snow mix likely at night up to an inch. More further north, a high of 44. Right now, Milwaukee, it's cloudy and 36 degrees.
President Trump says his administration will tap the United States Strategic Petroleum Reserve to try to reduce gasoline prices. The International Energy Agency has agreed to release 400 million barrels of oil from its members' emergency reserves in a bid to counter the effects of energy markets of the war in the Middle East. CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady.
You would have expected, though, to see oil prices drop on this news, but in fact, they ticked up ever so slightly. And the reason is that this was likely already baked in. If you go back to Monday, we saw these huge swings. It was like a $40 swing in terms of the price of oil. It almost went up to $120, and then it kind of came back around under 90. It's been hovering anywhere between $85 to $90 a barrel the last couple of days.
This will be the largest oil release from the International Energy Agency in history.
A person died during an arrest in Milwaukee just this afternoon near 107th and Sheridan. Sources tell WTMJ that 4 officers and a police canine were involved with a potential exposure to fentanyl when the person in custody died. We are working to learn more.
Decision Wisconsin. With less than 4 weeks to go until voters elect the newest member of the state Supreme Court, most Wisconsinites still haven't decided who they'll vote for.
2/3 of Wisconsin voters, according to the latest Marquette Law poll, haven't made up their minds between Judge Chris Taylor and Judge Maria Lazar. Judge Lazar tells WTMJ's Point Taken the highly publicized and highly financed nature of the past two state Supreme Court races likely plays a role.
People had a little fatigue, but I think they're starting to pay attention. I think this is now the crunch window, and that's okay.
Despite the large number of undecided voters, the poll did show a slight advantage for Taylor over Lazar in terms of net voter favorability. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
The U.S. Department of Transportation is considering softening regulatory standards for autonomous vehicles, leaving questions about safety. Dr. David Noyce at UW-Madison's College of Engineering tells Wisconsin's Morning News the goal is largely for more testing on roadways.
We have 40,000 plus fatalities on the roadway in this country each and every year, and it's been that way for decades. And what autonomous vehicles have an opportunity to do is significantly reduce that number. But we are afraid of new technology, and there's fear of getting into these type of vehicles if you haven't experienced it.
90% of crashes are caused by human error, like distracted or impaired driving.
Milwaukee's new tow ordinance for reckless driving is landing more vehicles at the impound.
The total is now 100 vehicles since the ordinance went into effect in November. Police can now impound any vehicle used in a reckless driving incident, even if it's the driver's first offense or the driver is not the owner of the vehicle. Tow lot officials report the impounds have generated over $18,000 in fees and nearly $3,000 in citation payments. 2 cars have been recycled, and so far, none of the cars impounded were reported as stolen. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Changes are coming to some high school sports programs in southeast Wisconsin.
The Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association Board of Control approved a plan moving Menominee Falls and Germantown from the Greater Metro Conference to the North Shore Conference. Grafton shifts to the Glacier Trails Conference. Other Milwaukee area realignment proposals were sent back for additional review. For now, Milwaukee Reagan High School will stay in the Milwaukee Conference, and Carmen Southeast continues as an independent program. The next board meeting is April 22nd. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The NFL League year and free agent period is open. The Packers are signing veteran wide receiver and kick returner Sky Moore and re-signing defensive end Brendan Cox Jr. on a one-year, $2.5 million deal, according to ESPN. College basketball, Marquette begins big play in the Big East tournament tonight against Xavier at 5:30. Greg Gard's Wisconsin Badgers will face either Washington or USC in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten tournament on Thursday. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:35.
Get new Pella windows and doors with 0% interest until 2032. PellaWI.com. Wisconsin homes ask a lot of their windows and doors. With our unpredictable weather, they need to perform in every season, year after year. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we build everything around quality, durability, and long-term comfort. And right now, we're making long-term comfort easier than ever. Order today and get 0% interest until 2032. Not just a few years, 0% interest all the way until 2032. That means you can upgrade your home now and pay over time without paying a dime in interest. From your free in-home consultation to expert installation, Pella's local team is with you every step of the way, helping you choose the right products for your home, your style, and your budget. And with our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident long after installation day. 0% interest until 2032. Set your free on-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2026. Lake Geneva is the Midwest's premier golf destination, featuring breathtaking views, crystal clear lakes, and rolling fairways. Treat yourself to an all-inclusive golf getaway with courses designed for all skill levels, luxurious lodging, distinctive dining, and a relaxing spa. Plan a Lake Geneva group golf outing, a corporate event, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. Their pros will help you plan a memorable golf experience. For info on courses and more, visit lakegeneva.com today. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for legendary golf.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
And Sayers is sponsored by the best website, Travel Wisconsin. Check it out, travelwisconsin.com. Hello, Ann.
Hi.
Thank you for being with us. I love this topic. Breweries and wineries in our state. This seems right up our alley.
I know. Someone's got to talk about it. I guess it's us.
I know. And the cruising of the Wisconsin Great River Road for vines and views.
It's so amazing here. You can discover one of Wisconsin's most unique wine regions, and it's along the country's mightiest river. So the Wisconsin Great River Road Wine Trail, it invites visitors to sip and sample locally produced wines alongside its incomparable views. The Great River Road follows the Mississippi River for 250 miles. It weaves along the banks of the river and its towering bluffs. You're going to find long-established and beloved wineries and communities throughout the route. Swing by Danzinger Vineyards. It has a panoramic setting. You can catch views of the Mississippi River from the winery that's perched atop the Alma Bluffs. You can sip on wine made from 12 grape varietals that are grown right there on the estate. And then near Trempealeau, which is so beautiful, Elmaro Vineyard. It's nestled in a valley with photo-worthy vineyard views. You can enjoy locally produced wine and a variety of events. It's a super popular winery. And then for a bite to eat, soak in the Americana vibes at Buck Knuckles Bar and Grill. This is in Alma. They have a distinctive wood and tin exterior. It leads into an interior decorated with antique farming equipment, road signs, gas station finds, classic Americana, an ideal pit stop for a road trip out there.
Ooh, that sounds fun. The next one's in a part of the state that I need to get to. I'm excited. Tell us what's happening in Bayfield County.
Yes, everyone needs to get to Bayfield County. You can journey to the ancient roots of imbibing during a visit to the White Winter Winery in Iron River. White Winter has the distinction of being Wisconsin's oldest meadery. They're actually celebrating their 30th anniversary this year. So mead, it's made from fermented honey. It's the world's oldest alcoholic beverage. White Winter has decades of experience perfecting the product. You'll savor a variety of meads, including many that incorporate the locally grown berries and apples of Bayfield County. White Winter also crafts ciders and wines, so all palates are going to be happy there. And then for another local favorite, grab a meal at Iron River's Pizza Parlor. It's an establishment that's been around for 50 years. The owner's from Chicago, and he prepares authentic pizzas that leave an impression. Savor specialty pies like the Signature Deluxe on thin crust or hand-tossed crust.
And there's Creative Craft Brews at Inventor's Brew Pub.
Yes, Ozaukee County. So you can make the trip to Port Washington for great beer, tasty food, good times. Inventor's Brew Pub. This pub specializes in creative takes on the classics like IPAs, Pilsners, Porters, Sours, and more. It's a long tap list. It's full of in-house brewed beers, including many cleverly named after famous scientists, as well as guest brews. The food is equally as impressive as the beer. You can browse a menu of upscale versions of pub standards like burgers, handhelds, and entrees. Be sure to get an appetizer like the fried cauliflower, or this sounds really good, Wisconsin bratwurst poutine. You can split that with the table. Amazing. And then explore the picturesque downtown of Port Washington after your meal. So many locally owned shops and boutiques stocking goods for visitors of all interests, and settle in for the night at the Harbor View for waterfront views. It's relaxing. It's a nautical themed hotel. Features some recently renovated and modernized rooms. A lot of them are lake facing, and you can wind down the day at the indoor pool or in a cozy garden patio.
And that sounds so nice. Would you say you're more of a wine girl or a beer girl?
I'm here for both. I'm here for it. I'm yes.
I'm a yes, too. All right, I want to ask you about one other thing, Ann. I saw you with the governor touring our state, talking about our really burgeoning and cool film industry. How big a deal is it to our state that we get on board and we encourage this?
This is so cool. We were one of just a handful of states that did not have a film office or film tax credits, and we do now. So that means that we can start to attract filmmakers to Wisconsin to feature our gorgeous state, and also provide a ton of support to the economy because, you know, we have so many crafts people here that are able to show their creativity, and then of course they will spend the night and go to our restaurants and just give that kind of economic boost that other states are enjoying that we haven't been able to.
And
until now.
And you, John, and myself could be extras in the next movie that comes to Wisconsin.
I want to be in a horror film. Would you guys be up for it?
I'm so up. Are you kidding me? Of
You
course.
got connections, Ann. You could make this happen for all of us.
I know.
Wouldn't it be fun to get scared?
Dream come true.
That would be so good. Ann Sayers is the travel secretary. Start your spring getaway at travelwisconsin.com. Ann, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
It is 4:42 at WTMJ.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling. Trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. Tax filing season continues and the deadline will be here before you know it. How about working with someone who has strategy and organizational tax planning experience? Changes like rate cuts, One Big Beautiful Bill Act, and now senior tax deductions. Having someone guide you in making informed decisions and helping you apply strategic moves can make all the difference. The Annex Wealth Management team understands that navigating tax strategies before and through retirement requires a thorough understanding of your current circumstances and your financial plan. It starts with understanding what you own and why, and taking a holistic look at your entire financial picture, no matter how complex or diverse. Experienced planners build strategies that put your best interest first with no commissions, no pressure from sales pitches. Annex is local. They know the community because they live here. Headquarters right in Brookfield. Annex Wealth Management. Check them out. I did this years ago. Went to annexwealth.com, click Get Started. Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management. And listen to Money Talk, the Annex Wealth Management show, every Saturday at 10 a.m. on 620 WTMJ.
Struggling to provide for your family is a real thing, like having to choose between feeding them a warm meal or paying the utility bill. These are the choices many Milwaukee residents are faced with, which is why they turn to St. Vincent de Paul Society's meal program for help. Our meal program has been a consistent resource for those in need for over 42 years. Nutritious meals, warm showers, and clean clothes, all in a safe, family-friendly environment. Our mission is clear, and that's to help you break the cycle of poverty by connecting you with life-changing community and educational resources. Last year, we provided $2.2 million in goods and services, plus 57,000 warm meals. If you or anyone you know needs a warm evening meal, you can find us at Harambe Kitchen 5 nights a week on the northeast side of Milwaukee in the basement of All People's Church. And at Crossroads Kitchen on the south side of Milwaukee 6 nights a week on 9th and Madison. As always, we're grateful for community members and volunteers who help us help you. To learn more, visit svdpmilw.org.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
Yeah, Debbie, this is Dan. South of K, there's a car fire in the southbound lane, closing off 3 lanes.
Call me, Debbie Loziga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
Hey, Debbie, just calling in. There's 2 separate accidents, 94 westbound.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it?
There was an accident. There's already 4 cops there and an ambulance.
Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Hurt at work? Call Tayback for the payback. An injury at work may leave you eligible for compensation benefits, including lost wages, coverage of medical bills, or a cash settlement. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Lead with purpose and take the next step in your career. At Concordia University, Wisconsin, the Batterman School of Business offers an online MBA designed for ambitious professionals like you. Choose from 12 in-demand concentrations with flexible courses that fit your schedule and your goals. Visit cuw.edu/MBA to get started. That's cuw.edu/MBA.
1896, Horicon Bank first opened its doors. Wisconsin wasn't even 50 years old.
We've maintained our roots over the years and yet expanded.
We empower our people to invest in the community. We give them 40 hours of volunteer time.
We're doing it with a personal touch, with a desire to say yes to our customers.
You shouldn't have to work with a bank that sends their profits to New York City or Toronto. You can keep your money here and it benefits Wisconsin.
Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. Member FDIC.
Traffic and then weather. Debbie Loziga, how are the roads?
Wet. They are wet and apparently very slick because we've got new accidents to talk about. All right, here we go. Southbound 43, we've got a crash right past Fond du Lac Avenue. Actually, that one's on the northbound side, and that one is blocking the left lane. So give yourself some extra time heading through there. We also have one eastbound 94 at Mitchell Boulevard off on the right shoulder. Another one at Hawley Road. The left lane is blocked with this one, so big delays coming out of the 84th Street area. We've also got those two accidents around Capitol Drive, one on the on-ramp, one in the right lane at Capitol. And then we got one more southbound 41 at Burleigh. The right shoulder is blocked with that one. Now, as far as delays are concerned, we do have backups on the bypass now, creeping up from Oklahoma Avenue down and around the Hale all the way to 60th Street. Westbound out of the Mitchell interchange going to be slow to Loomis. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The clouds will get out of here. Breezy, though. Low of 28 tonight. Tomorrow, sunny. A snow mix is likely at night up to an inch north, far north. High of 44. Friday, cloudy and windy, a high of 45. Saturday, a chance of light snow late Saturday, a high of 37. Sunday, heavy, wintry mix, lightly on Sunday, a high of 35. Right now, Milwaukee, it's cloudy and 36 degrees.
The Economic Spotlight is brought to you by Concordia University, the Batterman School of Business, and Horicon Bank, the natural choice. Dale Koinga is the president and CEO of the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce. He is with us in the studio. Dale, so good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Back.
Thank you. I like this topic. Wisconsin ranks among top states for migration.
Yes.
People coming in.
Number 10 in the nation,
That's
right behind
great.
Hawaii. It is great because it's, who would think it? I mean, the cool factor in the state is back. There's a lot of great things going on throughout the state. Here in Milwaukee, we have a vibrant downtown. We got big employers coming here, Eli Lilly and Microsoft. Existing employers like Milwaukee Tool expanding. So it's great news. I mean, it's really interesting. Chicago's a net loser for fifth in the nation for Metro. So we're getting a lot from Chicago. Net
Not
migration
surprised.
internationally.
Yeah.
Internationally, people moving here.
Wow.
And I found this interesting almost to the person. From 2020 to 2024, births went from 255,964 to 255,890. It's almost to a person, the number of births.
That's crazy.
It is. But Wisconsin's up, looking good. People want to live here.
Why? Why is that? What can we attribute that to?
Our tax climate is getting better. This is a place where I've always said you don't have to pick between a family and a career. Whether if you're male or female, you could zip around a metro like this in 20 minutes and get to your kids' games, but still get down to a Brewers game or a Bucks game or world-class restaurants and world-class music and world-class arts. It really has everything, and we're getting known. Now, I guess we're not as known as we thought because I had a friend I just saw at the Milwaukee Athletic Club, and he said that his plane was supposed to land at O'Hare last night, and the pilot said, hey, we have to divert to Minneapolis. So they land, and the plane's like, this isn't Minneapolis, this is Milwaukee.
Oh, my God.
And the pilot's like, I always get it confused.
Oh, that's a funny story.
Yeah, so we're not as well known as we've got. We still have room to go.
In the pilot community, we got to do better marketing.
That's pretty important.
Wouldn't you think the navigator would know where he's going? Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Goodness,
funny.
it landed okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
But net, 10 in the nation. Now, Minneapolis is the losing side of this equation. So anyways, our stock is rising. I remember when I moved here, or, 15, 20 years ago, people would say, this is after I moved here, the cool place is Minneapolis, St. Paul. That's where the talent is. That's where companies are going. And that conversation has completely flipped, that they are having some huge problems in that city. Don't wish any metro ill will. But now the vibe is Milwaukee has some cool things going on.
Well, I mean, when John and I went from the RNC here in Milwaukee to the DNC, we saw the same people, the same journalists, nationally. And they came up to us and they said, Milwaukee's so much better than Chicago.
It's cool. Good restaurants.
So much better. This is brutal.
Yeah, it was
People
cool.
getting to know.
Hey, we're spending a lot of time, Dale, talking about the war and how it's impacting people. How could it impact American wallets as we play this out?
Well, it's going to impact your wallet because gas is going up. Now, compared to the rest of the world, the uptick in prices is less here than anywhere else in the world. And when I say here, that's domestically America. And the reason for that is because we are, the last 10 years, we've transitioned from an energy importer to an energy exporter.
Yep.
So we're in better shape than we were in the 1970s when we had these oil crunches, but it's supply and demand. And places like Kuwait said, we're not pumping any more oil because our storage tanks are filled and we can't get through the strait. So that has ripple effects. I mean, we're trying to get inflation from 3% down to 2%. This is all built into prices. There's uncertainty in markets. People see the stock market go down. That hurts consumer sentiment. So it's going to have an impact, which is why you see this concern that we need to get this war done quickly.
Air travel could definitely be impacted. We head into the summer season. Jet prices are up big time. I thought I read almost 60%. That's real.
60%, and you got to wait in line longer for TSA because they're not funding them.
Yeah, Julia, good luck flying next week.
I know. And I did the forecast Sunday when I take off heavy wintry mix likely.
Oh,
Good
you're going
luck
to be
to
flying.
me.
Dale's wife's going to be driving.
I'll
Dale
end up
and I
in
are going to be sitting
Minneapolis.
at home where it's cozy.
I know, roasting.
It's going to be safe and nice. MPS makes a deal with the deficit, makes cuts, to deal with the deficit. What do we know about this?
Well, they're going to cut 263 positions. 45 of those are already vacant. They have a $46 million deficit going in next year. These cuts account for about $30 million of that, so it gets it down to $16 million,
Okay.
which, in a multi-billion-dollar budget, they could get there. But let's take a step back here. And Indianapolis, they just did the largest overhaul of public schools probably since New Orleans after Katrina. And it's probably longer we have this segment to get into, but the mayor there appointed a 9-person panel that is looking at facilities, looking at accountability, looking at equal funding. And so we invited the Indianapolis mayor out to Milwaukee to talk about this, among some other stakeholders there. But look for Indianapolis and what they did with their public schools, because there may be a model there for more substantive reforms. And the reason I mentioned that with MPS is MPS has done some things now around the edges to deal with. These are small things that are crisis. We got to do something. But what we need is a larger structural reform that doesn't only fix the finances of MPS, but fixes the academic performance of the system. And Indianapolis has just enacted a very interesting model that we will be studying with other stakeholders.
Interesting. We did a special on the MPS budget when everything was going bad with the audit. And there was one Ohio city that actually the mayor took over the school district. And do you remember that? We even told Cavalier Johnson about it, and he wanted to figure that out. So as long as we're finding ideas, this is
like in
great.
Chicago, a lot of cities have mayoral control of the public school system.
Is that a good idea here?
It's better than what we have now. And the governance structure that we have now is not working. It's low turnout elections. You have the wrong people on there. It's the biggest aid employer in the region. You have no HR professionals on there. It's the biggest balance sheet of real estate. You have no real estate professionals on there. It's the I could go on, but most importantly, it's the biggest teacher of our kids reading and writing. And we don't even have the right reading experts and math experts on that board. So the governance model is not working. We need different ideas. I think the Indianapolis model of not mayoral control, but something that includes the mayor. I mean, the mayor gets slack for performance in the city on crime and other things. People point the mayor. And the mayor could say, hey, the biggest driver of this is a failing public school system. And I think the mayor should have say in a city, which means the mayor have say in the school district. This is a much larger discussion. But the bottom line is governance changes have to happen at Milwaukee Public Schools. And I think Indianapolis is onto something.
We will have more of this discussion at some future date. Dale, we appreciate it. Dale Coing is the president and CEO of the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce. Dale, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It is 4:56 at WTMJ.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
President Donald Trump has become a fan of dress shoes from a Glendale company, according to the Wall Street Journal. The publication reports Trump gifts Florsheim footwear to agency heads, lawmakers, White House advisors, VIPs, and celebrities. Landmark Credit Union plans to acquire American National Bank Fox Cities. The transaction is expected to close in the second half of 2026, and Milwaukee Development Corporation is advancing a $49 million plan to convert the former Doctors Hospital complex into 124 affordable senior apartments. The nonprofit seeks tax incremental financing from the city of Milwaukee. I'm Sari Lesk with Milwaukee BusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
This is former Wisconsin Attorney General J.B. Van Hollen with a message for my fellow conservatives about online sports betting. Online sports betting is fun. It protects kids against illegal gambling websites, and it generates billions in tax revenue. But today, Madison politicians are considering a secret deal that could give exclusive control of sports betting to one Indian tribe. One Indian tribe making the majority of all the revenue? Our Constitution requires a vote of the people on expanded sports betting, but Madison insiders want secrecy. What's worse, their plan could leave Governor Evers the sole power to negotiate with the tribes. Madison politicians want to bypass our state constitution, and it could mean less accountability with control concentrated with one Indian tribe. Tell Madison, no secret deal on online sports betting. Paid for by Sports Betting Alliance.
Turnover. It's costly, it's frustrating, it's a silent profit killer. Vince Vitrano here for Go Trago Assessment Solutions. Go Trago helps you hire the right people the first time, reducing turnover, cutting hiring costs, and improving sales. Trago TPS predictive assessments identify top performers before they're on your payroll. Auto dealers nationwide are using Trago to operate with turnover rates more than 200% lower than the industry average. Visit GoTrago.com.
Grab the dial and crank it up, baby, because Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is spinning its Winning Hits collection. Over the next 3 months, you could win a share of over $1 million in prizes. On top of thousands in cash and reward play, you could win one of 3 new Ford vehicles in the grand finale drawings on March 27th. Just play with your rewards card to earn entries. Press play on the Winning Hits collection, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
I didn't want my kids spending their weekends fixing my gutters or worrying if I was okay. Hi, this is Arvid. At Capri Communities, I have new friends, fun activities, and a safe, maintenance-free home. My children get peace of mind, and I get to enjoy life to the fullest. It's the best gift I could give them and myself.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again at Capri Communities. Get started today at capricommunities.com.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at AmazonBusiness.com. Transform your home today. Exterior pros. Trust the pros. Traffic is sponsored by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Whatever the weather, visit WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. Visit Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center today for another 2-man scramble tournament. Play at Georgia Golf Club on spacious, state-of-the-art simulators unlike any other.
Must play in March. Cash prizes only. No green jackets.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 5 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Your top story, Iran threatens to attack California with drones.
I'm Julia Fellow. An arrest in Milwaukee just this afternoon turned deadly.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Southbound on 41, backing up from Appleton Avenue all the way down past Capitol Drive, where you will find a couple of accidents. One at Capitol in the right lane and another one on the ramp from Capitol Drive to southbound. We've also got a crash on southbound 41 at Burleigh off on the right shoulder as well. Northbound on 43, we do have a crash at Fond du Lac Avenue as well. This one has the left lane blocked, so delays coming up through the Marquette all the way up to that point. Eastbound 94, very heavy from 84th Street all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard, where there's a crash off on the right shoulder there. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, decreasing clouds, breezy, a low of 28. Tomorrow, sunny, a high of 44. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, law enforcement has been warned that Iran could try to attack California using drones.
In an advisory sent to law enforcement, police are warned by the FBI Iran could retaliate by launching attacks via drones on the West Coast. The alert saying the timing, method, target, or perpetrators are unknown, but the drones could be launched from an unidentified vessel off the coast to hit targets in California. Governor Gavin Newsom responding to ABC's reporting.
As it relates to drone strikes, we've been aware of that information. We've been working collaboratively through the SOC, which we established right after the war began, the State Operations Center.
There is no evidence that a drone attack plan has been put into motion. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
More information coming to light about the deadly drone strike that killed 7 U.S. service members in Kuwait at the start of the war with Iran. CBS senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata.
We have to point out that this is the first serious Iranian retaliation. And why Kuwait? Kuwait's very close to Iran, within reaching distance to drones. We've talked about it a lot, reported about the drones in striking distance, and it looks like a drone strike on another U.S. military facility in Kuwait.
Dozens of U.S. troops are seriously injured from the strike.
A developing story. One person has died during an arrest on Milwaukee's northwest side this afternoon. It happened near 107th and Sheridan. Sources tell WTMJ that 4 officers and a police canine were involved with potential exposure to fentanyl. More information is expected at a media briefing this evening.
Day 1 in the trial of a man accused of kidnapping an elderly woman from Franklin at gunpoint was suddenly interrupted as the defendant, Timothy Olson, appeared to suffer a medical episode.
Okay, Ms. Hennell, I'm going to interrupt your testimony, and we're members of the jury. We're going to take a break at this time.
Olson was medically cleared by a nurse to proceed with the trial. It resumed this afternoon. The judge issued Olson a warning after the trial resumed.
Time and time again, medical professional after medical professional, you've been cleared to proceed to trial, and this trial will go. Mr. Olson, I'm warning you that you shall not engage in such theatrics.
Olson maintains his innocence.
A teenager is missing, and his former Milwaukee public school teacher might be involved. 15-year-old Avian Binion ran away from home on February 28th. His mother, Vanity, tells our sister station 1017 The Truth that the teacher had been texting him.
She was sending him money. She had sent him money for a ride. Can you send me a couple dollars so I can go get me some food? And then I seen her said, like, can you come pick me up or come take me to the gym? She asked him, like, you want to hang out?
MPS confirms the teacher is not currently working in the school.
Home prices continue to climb in southeast Wisconsin as listings slowly rebound.
The average sale price in the metro area jumped 9.5% in February, just over $407,000, with sales up in Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Ozaukee counties, but down slightly in Washington County. Despite inventory rising for more than 2 years, the metro area is still roughly 4,700 listings away from being considered a balanced market. Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Coming up, the Packers pick up a veteran kick returner.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:05.
At Associated Bank, we know running a business is tough enough, so our business is making your business banking easy. That's why we make sure it speaks your language. Business and consumer-linked accounts? How about all your banking all in one place with one login account? $50 overdraft grace zone? Think of it as a I never said I was a CFO grace zone. And maintenance fee-free account? Well, free is always good. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/YouGotThis. Member FDIC.
Hop on board the music tour of a lifetime. Vince Vitrano here. Join KB Excursions this spring. Visit Memphis and Nashville 6 days, 5 nights by Luxury Motor Coach. Tour Graceland. Walk on Beale Street. Backstage tour at the Grand Ole Opry, followed by dinner and a show. And so much more. This tour is booking now. Go to kbexcursions.com. Click on tours for the full itinerary. Graceland, Beale Street, the Grand Ole Opry with KB Excursions. kbexcursions.com.
Tax season is here. Smart planning starts now. Let's set you up for success with today's tax tip from our trusted friends at the Neal Group.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group, with today's tax tip. Yes, Social Security is still taxable despite what you heard and what was promised. Taxpayers age 65 or older get up to a $6,000 deduction in calculating taxable income whether you itemize deductions or claim the standard deduction. You don't even have to be collecting Social Security to get it. You earned it. We help you keep it. For more tips or if you have questions, visit neilgroup.net or call 414-325-2040. That's NEAL group.net.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The NFL league year and free agent signing period are officially underway. The Packers signed veteran wide receiver and kick returner Sky Moore. Brewers starting pitcher Quinn Priester will see a specialist in Dallas tomorrow about lingering right wrist soreness. It's possible he'll begin the regular season on the injured list. College hoops. Marquette faces Xavier to start Big East Conference tournament play. And Greg Gard's Wisconsin Badgers take on Washington or USC in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten tournament tomorrow.
This team's getting better, and I don't think we've peaked yet. I think we can get better and better, and that's the challenge that I always lay down to them. Like, we're never satisfied.
Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:07.
James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. JamesImaging.com.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company. James' client, Amy Simonson, IT administrator with Professional Services Group.
We have several locations throughout southeastern Wisconsin. Having them all under one company has been very helpful.
Big or small, one location or several, James Imaging Systems is your one-stop business technology resource.
And they are on top of everything. When we have a problem, it's answered right away.
James Imaging Systems, IT-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation, and unrivaled local service and support.
And they're always looking for what else can we do? What else do you need? So they want our company to succeed as well as their own.
Let James Imaging Systems help your business succeed. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
You love her twice as much today as the day you married her, right?
Welcome to Kessler's.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
All right, happy Wednesday, Thursday Eve. Glad that you are with us. All right, Asian carp, we talk about it often on here in the Midwest. And President Trump is weighing in on the invasive, nasty fish. WTMJ's Adam Roberts is with us here in the studio.
Why don't you share more about how you feel about Asian carp?
Do you
John?
like Asian carp?
Well, no. And for context, so before I was working in Milwaukee, worked for a long time in the La Crosse area, Mississippi River, the Upper River Basin, and Asian carp and invasive fish are a big problem in that part of the state and some of our surrounding rivers. Now, closer to home here in Milwaukee, when we think of invasive species, we think of zebra mussels that attach themselves to boats, etc. But now we're talking Asian carp in the Great Lakes. So, quick aside, right now, Asian carp are not spawning throughout Lake Michigan, choking off the natural habitat, but it is something environmentalists and experts have warned is getting closer and closer to happening as the fish inches closer to the Great Lakes. So President Trump was meeting with Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer on Tuesday. Now, the governor was trying to secure storm relief for the Upper Peninsula and also lobby for money to keep carp out of the Great Lakes. So it's not often that the governor of Michigan, noted Democrat, and President Trump are eye to eye on things. But this is one matter where those two sides have come into an agreement. And so where Wisconsin comes into play here is the president has called upon all Great Lakes state governors, including Wisconsin, to join this fight. Now, it's important to know we've been on this fight for years in Wisconsin. As I alluded to, it's an issue we're very aware of in the western part of the state. And as I reported on yesterday, think back to 2010, when we filed as part of a lawsuit against basically the Chicago water reclamation system. Think of the Chicago River and the channel that connects that to Lake Michigan. Carp have been swimming up that for years, and it was an effort to try and put more pressure on the city of Chicago to take care of that back 15 years ago. Never really went anywhere, but the president has also kind of put the thumb on Governor J.B. Pritzker in Illinois as recently as last year to say, hey, let's get moving on this a little bit. And so this is the latest attempt by the president to try and, how did he phrase it? I have the quote right here. Save the Great Lakes from the rather violent and destructive Asian carp was his terminology on Truth Social.
Fish.
Also of note, he called Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney the future governor of Canada.
Oh.
So that Canada-U.S. thing is apparently still...
We're still doing that?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so the Chicago issue is interesting because they've tried all sorts of obstacles and barriers, electronic, physical devices, and they can't stop the carp from getting into those systems in Chicago. Is there any evidence that any of that has made its way to Wisconsin?
At least not to our portion of the Great Lakes. So we have hundreds of miles of Lake Michigan shore, and then we oversee a lot of the offshore areas as well. There's nothing to suggest, as I mentioned, that this is prevalent in the lakes. But as I said, in our river systems, whether it's silver, bighead, black, and grass carp, which are the 4 invasive species of Asian carp that we're monitoring, they are present in our state. And when you think of, for people who don't know, so one of the ones that the president's honing in are silver carp. Those are the big chonkers that sometimes when they're scared will literally leap out of the water. You see videos of them jumping out of the water
like
and
land in
smacking
boats or
people
hit
on
somebody.
the head.
The president wants has a war on that.
A war on flying fish,
Wow,
but not
I
flying
do
fish,
too.
Asian carp.
That whole Canada thing, maybe the president got hit in the head by a flying carp.
The governor, the governor of Canada.
Yeah. Adam Roberts, thank you. All those species of carp he named off.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
The one that's flying out.
Good stuff. Thank you. Of
course.
It is 5:13 at WTMJ. Free agency in the NFL officially open today. What's going on with the Green Bay Packers? Alex Strofe in the studio up next.
Potential is like God's love. It lives within everyone and shows us that we are made for more. At Aug Prep, faith ignites excellence in academics, the arts, athletics, and every aspect of our lives. Students don't just realize their full potential, we learn to soar. The #1 K-12 school in Milwaukee is expanding to the North Shore and is now enrolling grades K4 through 6th and 9th. Aug Prep North, made for more. Apply today at augprep.org.
Serving Milwaukee since 1945. Otto's Wine and Spirits. I love Otto's. It's where I stock up. It's my Friday stop. It's where I buy my wine. They've got the greatest beer cooler. All the Liney's choices lined up right there. They've got imports and domestic. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits. They pride themselves on having the best selection and the best value. They'll actually beat any advertised price. They're employee-owned. Why does that matter to you? Because they're happy in there. The vibe is fantastic. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits, celebrating their 80th birthday. Stop in today.
Maybe you call it the spigot. Vince Vitrano here for Horner Plumbing. Time to think about spring. When's the last time you had your hose bib looked at? You want to check for freeze or frost damage? Hopefully you remember to turn the water off before the winter season. You can have my team at Horner Plumbing install a frost-free hose bib. That's a really smart upgrade that will help you avoid more costly repairs in the future. And when you call, tell them Vinny sent you. They'll knock $100 off the cost of your project. The preferred plumbing company since 1969, HornerPlumbing.com.
Wisconsin's Morning News is here for you every weekday morning starting at 6 a.m. Vince Petrano.
The state of Wisconsin and the NFL mourning the passing of former Packers president Bob Harlan.
Eric Billstad.
Kristi Noem out. Senator Markwayne Mullen in to be the next Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security.
And traffic with Debbie Lozica.
Right at Highway G where we had this accident. We got lots of emergency vehicles on the scene.
The news you need to know. Wisconsin's Morning News on WTMJ.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores. Highway 100 and Layton Avenue in Greenfield. 23rd and Lincoln and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee. Great bargains and a great cause. You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
Traffic and weather. Debbie Lozica, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Southbound on 43, still seeing delays basically from Fond du Lac Avenue down through the Marquette interchange all the way down to Chase. On the northbound side, we still have the left lane blocked with a crash at Fond du Lac Avenue, so watch for delays coming out of the Marquette as well as beyond that, all the way up to about Burleigh. We've got westbound 94 very heavy from 27th Street all the way to Hawley Road. We do have the left lane blocked with a broken down vehicle, so that's going to be causing some issues. On the eastbound side, at Mitchell Boulevard, we do still have an accident off on the right shoulder, and that's going to be slowing things down starting at 84th Street. And southbound 41, still heavy from Silver Spring down past Capitol Drive, where we have that accident in the right lane. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, decreasing clouds, breezy, a low of 28. Tomorrow, snow, mix, rain, likely a high of 44. Friday, partly cloudy, a high of 45. Saturday, light snow late, a high of 37. Sunday, could get up to 6 inches of snow, but the track of the storm has not settled in yet, so don't freak out. High of 35 degrees on Sunday. Yes! Free agency is open in the NFL, and the Packers are making some moves, creating some conversation. Alex Strofe, ESPN Wisconsin, with us in the studio. He's one of our green and gold insiders. Alex, good to see you.
Good to see you guys. I missed you. It's not Thursday, which was my day throughout the season, but I missed you regardless.
Yeah.
We can talk about it now.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into this. What have the Packers done most recently in free agency?
Big one today, just a couple hours ago. So the new league year just started at 3 o'clock, which is technically when all these free agent signings we've been talking about the last 48 can actually become finalized, right? So the Rashawn Gary trade wasn't official until 2 hours and 17 minutes ago. But with that comes releases. So players that were going to be released were not actually on the market until 3 o'clock. All of that to say, the Packers made a big splash. They signed defensive tackle Javon Hargrave, who most recently played for rival Minnesota, has appeared in 2 Super Bowls with San Francisco and Philadelphia. He's 33 years old, instantly becomes the second longest tenured NFL player on the Packers, so a veteran guy. Wow. He's over the age of 30, which they don't have a lot of those. So big signing for the Packers to really shore up that interior of their defensive line.
Well, maybe he's really hungry because it was back-to-back Super Bowls, wasn't it?
It was,
and
yeah.
he lost
both of them.
Both times. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
The Super Bowl champion.
So what about our kicker? Is it our return kicker?
Kick returner.
Kick returner. The kicker who you mentioned, though, is the oldest guy on the team, so nicely done there. Sky Moore. Sky with 2 Y's.
Oh.
S-K-Y-Y Moore.
Fancy.
That's how you spell that. Yeah, it looks like they're finally saying, hey, you know what? Special teams actually can win and lose you games, as we saw in the playoff game against Chicago. He's a total return guy, and they haven't had that in several years since Keyshawn Nixon last did it. And, you know, he had a 98-yard return kickoff last year that didn't go for a touchdown. It went 98 yards, though, which is really hard to not go for a touchdown. But was top 10 in both punt and kick return averages. So he's fast and should be exciting. And it's a guy that the Packers certainly could have used last year. So that's a good move by them as well.
Can they use him on offense at all? Can you run a jet sweep? Do they hand the ball to him? Does he play at receiver at all, or not really?
I struggle with that early, John. Maybe they could do some of those things with him, but they're so stacked at that position, even with the loss of Romeo Doubs, who signed a mega deal with the Patriots yesterday. He'd probably be 6th on their depth chart. So maybe they use him a little bit, and obviously if injuries come into play, they could use him. But I would imagine he's going to be a return guy and probably not a whole lot more than that.
He has 1 career touchdown.
That's
NFL.
it. All right. So you're an NFL insider. I want you to weigh in on this because I was arguing with Telly Hughes about this yesterday.
Oh, boy.
He tried to come on here and say that Romeo Doubs' loss was huge. It was catastrophic almost for the Packers. And I made the argument that the guy's never had 750 yards receiving. The guy's been disappointing. The guy had some chemistry with Jordan Love, but it wasn't a loss, especially if you're going to pay a guy what the Patriots are paying him. Where does Alex Strofe come down on Romeo Doubs getting that big contract with the Patriots?
I promise he didn't pay me to say this. I am Team John Mercure on that. Here's why. I agree with the chemistry point because I think I always referred to him as Jordan Love's security blanket. Like it felt like on third downs or in the red zone, he was very comfortable with him. There is several more talented wide receivers on the Packers than Romeo Doubs. And he deserves to get paid. He deserves to get kind of a fresh scenery. We remember the incident from a few years ago where he didn't show up to work because he was unhappy with his role. I think that killed his future with the Packers. So he kind of gets, a fresh start, a change of scenery, which should be good for him. When it comes to the Packers, though, they spent a first-round pick last year on a wide receiver in Matthew Golden, who they didn't use until the playoff game. So that allows him more opportunity, and we think he's ultra-talented, super speedy, good hands. Christian Watson Robertson came on super late last year after returning from the ACL tear. He was terrific and could be getting a payday next offseason like Romeo Doubs got from the Patriots. So I don't think it's a catastrophic loss. I think the wide receiver room, I think it still should be improved even with the loss of Romeo Doubs. That's the group I'm most excited to see in 26.
And Tucker Kraft should be back, right?
Should be. I would assume early season. I don't know if he'll be ready week 1 because it was a November tear. 10 months or so, that is. So maybe we'll see him week 1, but we'll see him early enough in the season. He's one, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best tight ends in the league.
Can I talk about Aaron Rodgers?
You can talk about whatever you want, Julie. Yes. It's your show.
Right.
Okay, what do we think is going to happen with him?
Your guess is as good as mine. I would love to see
McCarthy's interested.
Yeah, I would love to see that duo back together because isn't that chaotic and like he's wanting the quarterback that got him fired. Rodgers had a big responsibility in why McCarthy his days came to an end in Green Bay. I would love to see one last rodeo with those two together. That's just like perfect television. If you don't love the football aspect and you love the drama aspect, the Pittsburgh Steelers could be your team.
Yeah.
Do you know who he married? Aaron Rodgers.
Nobody knows who
I
he
do.
married.
Do you think he's married?
You have a theory.
I
do. But
everybody, nobody. Okay.
I think it's almost impossible that we have not seen his wife.
Breaking news.
You know who he
he's
married
to?
Well, there's a podcast of ladies that I watch, so I can get up and up.
Okay,
so
who
you have
is
the
it?
tinfoil hat on, is what you're saying.
Oh, I looked it up, and it all adds up.
Who is it?
Who is it?
No, I'm not going to say. They didn't say. I just
Well,
figured.
also you don't know who it is.
Okay, sure.
Wait, you know who it is?
No, I guess I don't.
Julia.
No, I do.
I don't think there's a wife.
What?
I think it's almost impossible that no one
This is a
camped
fair point.
outside his building, wherever he lives, has not seen a woman.
Did you
Has she literally never left the building, the house?
Did you
She's
hear
very
that
private, he says.
soundbite?
Very private. Like
very
she doesn't
private.
like to leave the house.
Maybe.
Maybe
she's in a darkness retreat the whole time. Right?
That's
Maybe they have like a
She
cave
doesn't
in the
like
basement.
the limelight.
I think it's a doll.
Wait, see, hold on. I can't get over this. You claim you know who it is.
Yeah.
TMZ doesn't know who it is, Julie. What do you got?
It's all over TikTok. Just Google TikTok.
Well, tell us who it is.
No, I'm not saying.
Why?
Brittany.
Okay,
Her
we
name
all
is
know
Brittany.
that.
We knew that. Brittany with an I.
It's a blow-up doll named Brittany.
No.
It's a plastic wife.
Is that the name of his AI that he's fallen in love with?
Yes.
Yes. Joaquin Phoenix and her?
She's had one other high-profile relationship before, and it was kind of not good for her. So she doesn't like being in the limelight.
Can you tell us
I'm
who?
so shocked that you guys don't know.
Well, because I'm not a conspiracy guy, you know that at all.
Yeah,
but there's no way he's married. I don't.
I'm not a conspiracy guy, but the guy who claims he's married.
This is the first conspiracy ever, right? That I've bought into. It's not even a conspiracy. I just
That's
don't
more
buy
an
it.
opinion,
There's
yeah.
no way that we wouldn't know.
I asked
Pat
Tausch.
McAfee would know for sure.
That's true. That's true.
Well, I asked Tausch if he was invited to the wedding. He said no.
Because there wasn't a wedding. That's why.
It could have been at City Hall. Alex is getting
No,
married.
his wife doesn't leave the house. It couldn't have been at City Hall.
That's true. They just had one ordained minister and 2 witnesses, and that's all that knows.
He was probably the minister who he married the doll. He married the doll, gave the vows.
So you think it's a doll, not an AI? I think the potential of it being an AI is very high.
I'm being a smart aleck about the doll. I think it could be AI.
No, really.
Well, that's what's been popping up on my TikTok feed is all these people that are in relationships with AI.
Yeah.
And
well,
it
here's
is
the
fascinating.
Thing. Okay.
That could be him for sure.
We'll be done after this. It's just, we know, but anyways.
We don't know.
He doesn't, he wants us to talk about it.
Of course.
He wants this.
Of course.
That is Aaron Rodgers.
That's
I
true.
agree with that.
That's very true. Narcissistic old man. Yeah, that's true.
Enigma.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers. I'm married, but nobody knows who it is.
I'm not telling you I'm married to.
This took an unbelievable turn. I enjoyed this.
Me too. I'm Team Doll. Strofe is Team AI.
I'm Team Brittany.
Brittany with an I.
Alex Strofe, ESPN. Fantastic. Alex, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
That's going to be our social media post for tomorrow,
No,
right?
it's not.
Right, Nate?
No.
Yes.
No.
All right, it's 5:25 at WTMJ. Let's check the markets. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The NASDAQ believes he's married because it rose today. They're very excited. It was up 19 points. The Dow, they're saying, no, it's AI. The Dow is off 289. The S&P believes John's doll theory. It also dropped today 6 points. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Know the difference.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
For growing businesses, digital marketing shouldn't be a gamble. If your business needs results, not guesswork, it's time for a different approach. At Margle Media, we deliver real results for businesses in an evolving digital world. Backed by data, guided by strategy, and focused on actionable outcomes. We partner with businesses of all sizes to drive growth locally or nationwide. Set up a free consultation today. Visit us at marglemedia.com. That's MARGLE media.com.
Welcome to our Everyday Health feature sponsored by the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. Colorectal cancer is one of the most common cancers in the U.S. Many colorectal cancers start as polyps and may have no early symptoms. Regular screenings can prevent polyps from becoming cancer or can find cancer early when there are the most treatment options. Here to tell us more is Dr. Janice Zhao, a medical oncologist with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network. What is colorectal cancer and where does it start?
Colorectal cancer is a type of cancer that affects the colon, also known as the large intestine and the rectum. Most colorectal cancers start as growths, also called polyps, on the inner lining of the colon or rectum.
Who's at risk for colorectal cancer?
Individual risk factors include age. Most people are diagnosed after the age of 50, although colorectal cancer is on the rise among people younger than 50, as well as family history and lifestyle factors such as diet, obesity, inactivity, and tobacco and alcohol use.
When should someone get screened for colorectal cancer?
It's recommended that people at average risk start screening at age 45, but we recommend that you talk with your doctor about screening options and individual risk factors. Nationally, colorectal cancer is being diagnosed in younger people, so understanding your risk factors will help determine if screening at a younger age is appropriate.
Why is early detection so important?
Early detection through colonoscopies or other screening methods can find colorectal cancer at its earliest stages. By finding cancer early, patients have more treatments available to them, and they also have better survival outcomes.
Why choose the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network for treatment?
There are multiple reasons why we would recommend getting your treatment with us, one of which being disease-specific experts who are up to date on the most advanced treatments available for colorectal cancer. There's also ease of access with multiple locations for treatment as close to home as possible. We also have more treatment options through clinical trials, giving access to treatments that might not be available elsewhere. And lastly, we have the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in eastern Wisconsin.
Dr. Janice Zhao is a medical oncologist with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network. Dr. Zhao, thank you so much for being with us today. You can find a doctor who's right for you by visiting freighter.com/doctor.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, our weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market, how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. Sponsored by the original knowledge broker, R&R Insurance. Joining me today, Jeff Salazinski, Executive Vice President of Insurance Operations. 2026 is underway, Jeff. Would love some insight into what has your attention related to the year ahead.
Thank you, Vince. Great to be here. Early in the year is a great time to talk about trends and issues and how 2026 looks to be shaping up.
Jeff, we discussed broker mergers and acquisitions and broker litigation last time around. What's going on there?
Here locally and nationally, private equity brokers are raiding other insurance brokers for talent, clients, and their associated revenue. These moves have created a wave of litigation, temporary restraining orders, court proceedings, and a heck of a lot of confusion if you're one of the clients involved. Also, the M&A continues, and we now have several local agencies that have been sold twice in just the last few years.
Broker on broker litigation, Jeff, that sounds expensive and probably is a distraction, right, for insurance buyers?
100%, Vince. Broker litigation and the business practices that generated the litigation do nothing to add value to insurance buyers in today's market. I don't know a business owner who's interested in getting ensnared in that type of mess.
So how is R&R Insurance attacking 2026?
The R&R business model is truly unique. M&A always brings a ton of change, most of it directed at the shareholders, not the clients. R&R Insurance represents 50 years with the same name on the door, consistent investment in the business and our employees, and always being there for our clients.
So why should a business work with R&R Insurance?
If you're looking for a better insurance purchasing experience, We'd love to sit down and talk to you. At R&R Insurance, we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Tayback Law fights for those who fought for us. If you're a vet and have been wrongfully denied the VA benefits you're entitled to, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
I'm John Mercure. Your top story: an historic move to try to lower gas prices.
I'm Julia Fellow. Arrests made in the shooting near 3 Janesville schools.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. New accident now eastbound 94 right at Highway 83. We've got the shoulders blocked right now, so watch for a little bit of a backup heading through that area. And then we've got on westbound 94 at the ramp from Mitchell Boulevard, the left lane blocked with a crash, actually broken down vehicle there. Delays coming out of the 25th Street area to that point. More delays eastbound, by the way, from 84th Street through the stadium, but that's pretty standard stuff. On northbound 43, we've got backups from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Locust, southbound from Fond du Lac down to the KK River crossing. And we've got still those delays on 41 southbound from Silver Spring down to Capitol Drive, where you'll find an accident off on the right shoulder. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Decreasing clouds and breezy, a low of 28 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a snow mix, likely at night, up to an inch far north, a high of 44. Right now in Milwaukee, it's cloudy and 36 degrees.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, President Trump says his administration is taking steps to lower oil and gas prices, which have risen due to the U.S.-led war against Iran.
The president says he will tap the U.S.'s Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Speaking in Hebron, Kentucky, Trump also announced international action.
The International Energy Agency agreed to coordinate the release of a record 400 million barrels of oil from various national petroleum reserves around the world.
The president added higher prices during the Iran war are temporary.
We got to finish the job.
Iran has attacked commercial ships across the Persian Gulf region, further affecting global oil prices. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Over 600 people have been killed and 1,500 wounded in Lebanon as Israeli strikes continue, even right now. ABC's Matt Rivers.
There's only about 5.6 million people or so across all of Lebanon. Nearly 1 million of them are now displaced, according to various government estimates. We saw some of that in one shelter that we went to at a public school, and we spoke to a spokeswoman from the World Food Program who was there delivering hot meals. She is Lebanese herself, and she told us that this is unfortunately something that the Lebanese population has gotten used to over the years.
Israel says it is targeting Hezbollah infrastructure and leadership, according to the United Nations.
Developing story. One person has died during an arrest on Milwaukee's northwest side this afternoon. It happened near 107th and Sheridan. Sources tell WTMJ that 4 officers and a police canine were involved with potential exposure to fentanyl. More information is expected at a media briefing this evening.
The man accused of killing his mother with a baseball bat pled not guilty.
38-year-old Hayward Jenkins faces 1 felony count of first-degree intentional homicide in the death of his mother, 66-year-old Cheryl Jenkins. Court documents show Jenkins got into an argument with his mother in their home near 44th and Mitchell, and then he allegedly hit her multiple times in the head with the baseball bat before fleeing the house. Jenkins was later arrested at Potawatomi Casino. He faces life in prison if convicted on all charges. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Decision Wisconsin. There's less than 4 weeks to go until voters will elect the newest member of the state Supreme Court.
In terms of hype and dollars, the race between Judge Chris Taylor and Judge Maria Lazar appears to be a far cry from 2025, when Brad Schimmel and Susan Crawford's campaigns broke several spending records. Judge Lazar tells WTMJ's Point Taken a quieter race comes with pros and cons.
My goal was to actually lower the temperatures, and I think we've accomplished that. The con is obviously we need to get people's attention.
Lazar and Taylor will debate each other at Marquette University March 25th. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
The U.S. Department of Transportation wants to loosen regulatory standards for autonomous vehicles. Secretary Sean Duffy says the goal is to accelerate AV development. But the effort is met with skepticism. Dr. David Noyce at UW-Madison's College of Engineering tells Wisconsin's Morning News, autonomous does not mean free of oversight.
What most people don't realize is that the vehicles are being watched from a remote location. So, there is still human control and observation of these vehicles to make sure, nothing unexpected happens, when you're using them, for example, in a taxi or Uber type environment.
Noyce adds that more than 90% of crashes in all types of cars are caused by human error.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The NFL league year and free agent period is open. The Packers making a splash. ESPN reporting that they will sign former Minnesota Vikings defensive tackle Javon Hargrave to a 2-year deal. He turns 33 years old and was released by the Vikings earlier today. They're also signing veteran wide receiver and kick returner Sky Moore, plus re-signing defensive end Brendan Cox, and they've offered a contract extension to center Sean Ryan. College basketball, Marquette begins play in the Big East tournament tonight against Xavier. Greg Gard's Wisconsin Badgers face either Washington or USC in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten tournament tomorrow afternoon.
Never satisfied with where we can be, and I think that keeps us hungry and confident and humble at the same time.
Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more. And the United States is in danger of not advancing beyond pool play in the World Baseball Classic. The U.S. will advance if Italy tops Mexico tonight.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTNJ News Time, 5:36.
Since 1956, the Adair name has stood for craftsmanship, honesty, and taking care of people the right way. I'm Austin Adair.
And I'm Chelsea.
My grandparents started this company with nothing but hard work and pride in every single job. My parents carried that legacy forward, and today, my wife and I are proud to continue it as third generation of Adair Floors and Remodeling. This isn't just a business to us. It is our family name, our reputation, and our promise to you. At Adair Floors and Remodeling, we help homeowners upgrade with confidence. Whether you need luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, carpet, tile, or a full remodel, our team handles everything from design to installation. Quality products, professional crews, clear communication, and results you'll love. That's what 3 generations have built and what we stand behind every single day. Visit Adair Floors and Remodeling today at our large showroom located in Franklin, or give us a call at 414-761-3660 for a free estimate. Adair Floors and Remodeling, 3 generations, 1 standard.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Chief Meteorologist Brian Desnansky is with us. Good afternoon, Chief.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Feel like we got lots to talk about with the weather.
Yeah,
I know. Okay,
yeah.
So Sunday I'm taking off from Mitchell Airport. Well, I'm driving down to my dad to Illinois on Friday. And and then driving back up. So I should probably do that immediately, right? Because on Saturday,
I think the Friday stuff looks you're fine there, and I would say even most of Saturday you're fine. It's
one
Saturday
time when
night.
you were gone. Sorry to interrupt you. One time when you were gone,
Go ahead.
Brian saved me from almost like being in a horrible blizzard. It was horrible. He's like, "You better not do that."
So what about Sunday? I know we're jumping all over Niz, but Sunday's the day everybody's kind of wondering about.
Yeah, it is, and rightfully so. You have what really appears, and so like there's definitely differences in the models on where the heavy snow, sets up on Sunday. But what is very consistent is that we're going to have a very strong area of low pressure with a very long duration of precipitation, and depending on where that center of low pressure goes will determine whether we see all snow and a ton of it, or more in the way of a minor snow event that's really slushy and just a lot of slop.
Okay, so I want to put a graphic up here, Niz, because we've talked in the past about how inaccurate the Apple phone weather thing is. So we're putting up this graphic right now. We opened up our phones this morning, and they're saying it started this morning when we got up. It said 24 inches of snow is coming on Sunday. The graphic we're looking at there, I think, says, what does it say, 15 to 18 inches? 17 inches?
Yep.
What is going on with these graphics, Niz?
Yeah, so I'll be honest with you. There's some like raw computer model runs that are outputting in parts of the state, including here in southeastern Wisconsin, like 30, 40 inches of snow.
What?
Just saying. So obviously that's not going to happen. Now watch all of a sudden, like the storm of the century, the perfect storm.
So AI's not going to replace you.
No.
No.
So like what a lot of these models, I mean, there is some things that need to be tweaked, obviously bad data and bad algorithms, but for the most part, a lot of times the models also aren't taking in considerations that a human could easily do, borderline temperatures, a borderline warm lake next to us, ground temperatures we pretty much lost our frost layer. Things of that nature. So even if we do get all snow, now let's say we do end up with that scenario where the center of low pressure goes south and we end up with all snow in southeastern Wisconsin, I could easily see a foot of snow, like honestly.
Okay.
And that would be for Sunday, and maybe even more than that. So like it isn't that crazy far-fetched. Here's the problem: we know how these go. I can tell you right now with certainty somewhere in Wisconsin is going to get blasted with a lot of snow. But I'm not comfortable enough saying where that swath of snow sets up. But what should happen in the coming days, maybe as soon as late tomorrow night, definitely by Friday, we should be able to put some numbers to
I'm
this.
taking off at 12:10 Sunday from MKE. We'll see what happens.
12:10?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, yeah, you got to hope for a shift north. Yeah. So like it's possible still. I mean, I would feel more like, okay, with all that I'm seeing right now, and trust me, we can go on this for a long time about like tons of people, meteorologists online that share this raw model stuff. And I mean, what they're sharing isn't like fake, but what they're sharing is reckless because they know it's going to change and they're going to get tons of clicks and tons of shares and everything. So, but one of the consensus that I'm seeing, I would say if there was a sweet spot, if someone like held me to it, the sweet spot really looks like the Fox Valley. Like I would say Fox Valley over to Manitowoc, up to Green Bay. Right now, if I had to put a bullseye, that's where it would be as of right now. And that would put us in more of a mix, and maybe we end up with a few inches of slop. But you got to end up with you got to hope that northern track happens, because if it does go south, you're not getting out on Sunday. I hate to tell you.
All right, fingers crossed for the northern track.
Yeah.
Northern. All right, Niz, we appreciate you sharing this with us because I know it's way far out and it's hard for you to nail it down, but talking through is fascinating to hear how you put this together. So walk us through then tonight and the next few days as we know it right now.
I'll summarize by my hope is that we can get better, that, like within 5 years, we're able to say, 4 days out that I'm comfortable to stick to it, but we're just not there yet. But as you mentioned, let's get through the 5-day. Decreasing clouds tonight. The snow from today is done. Low temperature 28. For tomorrow, 44 degrees, mostly sunny, but getting breezy tomorrow. There's going to be a period of wind tomorrow night and into Friday where we could get some gusts over 40 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy, windy, 45. Saturday, mostly cloudy. Chance of light snow late, a high of 37. And then Sunday is that heavy mix potential and a high of 35 degrees. We'll keep fine-tuning things. You'll know soon enough for the specific amounts. Like, honestly, I feel like it's more beneficial to have the conversation that we had right now than for me to say 12 to 20 inches for Sunday.
Agree. Yep, agree.
Yep.
He is Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky. Thank you, Niz. We'll check back tomorrow.
All right, you back, guys. We'll see you.
The forecast is brought to you by Infinity Exteriors, your local experts for roofing, siding, and for window projects. It's Infinity Exteriors.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Hey everybody, it's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Access Legal. I see firsthand how hard Wisconsin workers push themselves. From the construction crews on the roads I monitor every day to the countless jobs that strain the body over time. For many, that wear and tear turns into real pain. My friends at Access Legal understand what you're going through and they want to help. Their team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers and will fight for the benefits you're entitled to as well. Worn down by work? Contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation. That's AXIS Legal.
Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Best doctors, best imaging, best physical therapists, and they have compassion and heart. It's Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. My wife, Michelle, hurt her back a while back, and she got in right away to see a specialist at OHAU. And it's not just because it's Michelle. That's how they roll. They believe right away you should see someone who can help ease your pain and get you back where you belong. Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Check out the website, OHOW.com. OHOW.com. Start your journey to feeling better today. Gorgeous facilities, state-of-the-art. You deserve to feel better. OHOW.com. Request an appointment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your car can't express its gratitude when you get an oil change, but the people you're helping will sure appreciate it, because when you visit an Adam member new car dealer through May 16th, they'll donate $1 from every oil change to Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin. To date, Adam has donated more than $960,000, providing 2.8 million meals. To find a participating Adam dealer near you, visit adamm.com. And thank you.
Hi, I'm Jane. Before moving to Capri Communities, my daughter spent more time helping me with chores than enjoying our visits. Now she comes over and we can go to concerts, we enjoy delicious meals, and participate in activities that are always happening. I choose senior living so that our time together can be more about fun than fixing things. And I love the freedom it gives me every day.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again at CapriCommunities.com.
Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. You know, we're living longer, and that's great. One of the downsides to that, if there is one, is that more people have Alzheimer's, dementia, cognitive decline. So you want to have a place your family can go when you need specialized help. That's where Azura comes in. Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living has all their staff go through very specialized training. Many locations in the Milwaukee area, I've been to them. They're gorgeous. Wisconsin-based, family-owned. It's empathy and compassion. It's Azura Memory Care.
Traffic is sponsored by Burghardt Sporting Goods, the Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center. Burghardt Sporting Goods. Visit them today in New Berlin.
Let's get you where you need to safely with Debbie Lazaga.
We've got some delays eastbound 94 from about 84th Street all the way through the Stadium Interchange, just past 35th. The westbound side's backed up from 27th Street past Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound 43 just tightening up right through the Marquette and then back on the brakes from Lapham down towards the KK River crossing. We have still this accident being worked on 41 southbound at Capitol Drive with the right lane blocked. Backups all the way back to Silver Spring. Also, the on-ramp from Capitol Drive still has that ramp closed all the way to get onto 41 southbound. So keep that one in mind. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Hey, we're joined in the studio by Mark Cass. He is the Executive Director of the Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame and Chief Operating Officer for Team Lammy. And just in an article published yesterday, he is one of the 10,000 best pickleball players
wait,
in
so
Wisconsin.
Then you're like one of the 1 millionth best players? Is that it?
Well, if you're 10,000, I am a little higher number than that.
Yeah, no. You're a much higher number.
Congratulations, Mark. Cracked the top 10,000. Nice job.
It's like the 100 best players in the NFL. Same thing, right?
Hey, thanks for being here with us.
Of course.
I wanted to ask you about Bob Harlan.
Yes.
I know you know Bob Harlan.
Yes.
You knew Bob Harlan.
Yes.
You know his family. Talk about his legacy.
An amazing person, and I've been telling this story the past week because it's amazing. I'm a young reporter. It's probably early 90s, early mid-90s, and I get assigned a story in the Packers. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to call the CEO. So I call the CEO. Call the Packers office. I get the receptionist. She puts me through. I'm thinking I'm getting his secretary. No, it's Bob. Bob answers the phone and answers every one of my questions. And every call I ever made to him as a reporter, he answered his own phone.
It's amazing.
It's an amazing story.
That's
and it's funny because I was
unbelievable.
on the day it happened, unfortunately, him passing last week, I was with Mark Murphy, and I was actually hosting an event with Mark.
Wow.
And I said to Mark, I called Bob. He answers his own phone. I called you. I get voicemail. What the heck? He goes, yeah, but he said, but I always called you back. I'm like, that's true, but you never answered your phone. So, that thing. And now, you know what else has been cool, John? Think about all the players who've come out and who talked about what he meant to their careers. He was the president. He wasn't the general manager. He wasn't the coach. But what I've often said about Bob Harlan is he's just a nice guy who cared. And you just see that. Think about all the things he did, from the hiring of Ron Wolf, which led to the hiring of Mike Holmgren, which led to the trade for Favre, which started, and you were old enough to remember this. You're not, but I am. Green Bay lost for a long time, right?
Yeah,
They lost from the
70s and 80s were miserable.
70s and 80s were miserable.
Younger and younger.
Bob
every
Harlan
time I
took
go.
over, and what happened? Or not took over. He changed the legacy.
Yeah, he
And
did.
from then on, we've had winning teams. I've talked about from Favre through Jordan Love, we've had 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Think about the other thing that changed the landscape of the NFL and the Packers. It was on his watch that Reggie White came in.
Yes.
That Reggie White accepted the culture that he had a big hand in building.
The thing that I heard from talking with Mark Murphy was he also got the stadium project done. Think about that. And if you remember, I think this has been lost in all that. And I remember you lived up in Brown County.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I did.
At the time, I don't know if you remember, what was the vote total? Do you remember? It won. It won by 6%, 53-47.
Yes.
In Brown County.
Yep.
Where the pack. So if that tax wasn't approved,
we'd be talking a whole different
we'd be
thing.
talking. Would the Packers still be there?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair question.
That's a scary thing to talk about. But that referendum and that first project, which led to the second project, which led to everything around the stadium. Yep. But if that first project and that referendum, and I remember when that was all going down, at the end there, it was close. He was going out and he was going door to door.
He did. I remember.
Bob
he
Harlan
worked
going
the neighborhood.
door to door.
Yeah.
The president of the Packers to get you to vote for something for the Packer Stadium.
So we talk about how cool it was when Bud Selig walked the legislative offices of Madison. Bob Harlan was walking door to door, literally.
You live near the stadium.
In Brown County.
He probably came and knocked on your door.
Yeah, I think my neighbor said he was walking through the neighborhood,
think about
literally,
that.
Bob Harlan.
That's the president. But, what I often talk about is people and kind of their impact is kind of what do people say about you later? And everybody to a person said, nice man, respectful, cared about the city and the team and the players. He cared about them, not just them playing on the field, but them off the field.
Exactly. Where's his funeral? It's
at Lambeau. How cool is that?
I know.
In the atrium. There's going to be his family's going to come to the atrium and talk about his life.
And kind of think about his family. His son, who I think is a fantastic announcer. Yeah. Kevin Harlan, great announcer. Think about that, kind of the legacy there.
And his granddaughter, Harlan's daughter.
Right.
Is also a broadcaster.
It is amazing. And, I just think we lost track of him kind of over the last couple of years as he retired and stuff. And I think we forgot his impact. But I think we've all remembered it over the past week.
I wonder how his son's doing right now because he's extraordinary broadcaster.
I think he is. I think, it's sad, but I think from what I've seen online, they're just in awe of the response. All the way from the commissioner of the NFL, to the guy on the corner who just happens to live near the stadium. We all knew Bob Harlan. I sat with him, 10 times and had wonderful interviews. Great interview. Always answered questions.
I'm interested to see, Mark, what sort of football royalty shows up in Green Bay between Goodell and that side of the house and whether Brett Favre and Antonio Freeman and Leroy and
Aaron Rodgers
Driver
has not had a great run over the past few years.
Right.
What he
Will
said
he come
about
back?
Bob,
yeah.
I thought was amazing.
You'd expect guys like Favre to be there who have said many things, but it'll be really interesting to see what part of Packer history shows up.
I think we forgot his impact over the past couple of years. We really did.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And one more thing, you kind of headed down this path. They don't get the NFL draft without Bob Harlan because of Titletown being put into place, which came about
Mark
because
Murphy
of the stadium.
was the key to getting the draft when it happened. But if you don't do everything else, adding Lodge Kohler, adding the restaurants, adding all that, you don't do that. I don't think obviously the draft never comes, but I'm not convinced the team's still there. Now I'm not saying that we're left immediately, but that stadium and the revenue earned from that stadium is very important.
Kept him in the ball game for sure. Let's talk about Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame nominees. I love what you're doing there. You've really taken it up a notch. We're recognizing a lot of different athletes and people who are adjacent to athletics.
Exactly.
Who's named?
Mark Murphy is the first one. Again, we just talked about him. Mark, I think, again, you talked about the draft. But the thing I also talk about with Mark is he had the 2 hardest things to do ever for a CEO. He had to oversee in his first couple months, the transfer from Favre to Rodgers.
Yeah.
Favre under-retiring. Favre coming back. Remember that flying into the Green Bay for the preseason?
Yeah.
That was Mark's first 3 months on the job. He has to take that. Then 16 years later, what happens? He's got to oversee the transfer from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. Fascinating to him. And, from talking to him, I just find it really interesting to see what he was able to do. The draft, obviously, a huge concept, but I asked him at that event I was at, what's his number one thing? It's still a Super Bowl. The fact, but I don't know if you know this, John, he's the only one that I could find who actually won a Super Bowl as a player and as a CEO.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, he
didn't
played
know
for the
that.
Redskins, who won
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
obviously a CEO for the Packers. He won it both times. He said it was the greatest accomplishment ever for him still, because people remember that. People assumed Green Bay was going back, and it hasn't happened since.
That's true. That's true.
Think about how hard it is. So he'll be our first honoree, one of our honorees. We're also putting him because it's a World Cup year. We're trying to honor that. We're honoring actually Bob Gansler, World Cup coach for the team. Grew up in Milwaukee, soccer legend here, really well known. Soccer is a huge sport throughout the country. Maybe we don't know it as well, but there's a lot of huge fans. He is like one of the guys kind of nationally, but he has a huge kind of local tie. So we're very excited about that. We have one coming hopefully next week that I think will kind of knock you a little bit. Can't tell you who it is yet, but it's very topical.
Give me some hint. Is it
he or she has been in the news a lot lately?
Oh, give us their initials.
N and O.
How do you decide?
We actually have committees, and we obviously have nominations. We talk through it. We try to get a mix for sports, but it's also, who do we think has had an impact on our region? And I think last year was a lot of fun. Bringing Ernie Johnson in, one of the highlights kind of
fantastic
of my career, talking to Ernie.
Yeah.
But that was one that I don't think people expected.
Yeah, that was fun.
And, that's a thing, too. Ernie Johnson, he deserves to be in there for all he's done, but also what he still thinks about our city and comes back here. And I've told the story, a month after he was inducted, we had the floods here. I don't think people know this. He reached out to me asking how everyone here was doing.
No kidding.
Yeah, he was so concerned.
Is he a Tosa guy? Where'd he grow up? Milwaukee,
No,
Tosa?
right on the 68th and North, so right on the line.
Wow.
He went back when he was here that day.
That's
for the
right, with
ceremony.
Barkley.
Yes.
And some other guys.
Kind of the mean streets of Milwaukee.
Yeah.
He called it. The mean streets of Tosa, he called it. But that, to me, is a great example of not a traditional athlete, but yet somebody we all should be very proud of.
That is super cool. Mark Cass is the Chief Operating Officer for Team Lammy, and he's the Executive Director of that Wisconsin Athletic Hall of Fame. Great perspective, Mark. Thank you so much.
Always good to be here, guys.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
So if you're looking to install